race course here for the Japanese Grand Prix. And yeah, so and today could be a very good day in terms of we might be able to crown a new elite champion. But of course, I think the stars have to be aligned, though, don't they? First course with Vanquish is still out in front at the moment, but hopefully we'll I'm going to be a neutral here because, to be honest, I would like to see the championship go on further, and of course and that would be good to see, and I'm sure everyone here would agree with that. But before we get into any of that, let's just take a quick look at the championship standings then from after 16 rounds then of the first ever. Remember, this is the first season of the Elite League, and it has been a spectacular league, hasn't it? And at the moment, Vanquish is still leading the championship with 62 points at the moment over Samster. But remember, we have still got, let me just, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds still to go. So 125 points is still up for grabs. So it needs to be a big old swing as well. So, yeah, it needs to be a big old swing for Vanquish to win. So I don't think it's going to happen. Thomas, my master's completely wrong. I don't think it ain't going to happen tonight. It won't happen tonight. But yeah, but Vanquish can really just he's already got a hand on that title, hasn't he? Really. But it will rule out a couple of drivers out of the championship. Second is Samster. But before we get into that, I just got to quickly share the link. That's what you call it, isn't it? Whoops! And there I just put a thumb down as well. That's terrible, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, so we're really looking forward to this. This should be a good. This is one of the best tracks on the Formula One calendar, isn't it? Suzuka. It's an old school track. So there's not a lot of runoff area, so if you make a mistake, you could be out quite quickly in this, because there's still gravel traps and things like that. They have sanitized it slightly, but yeah, it's still it's a test, especially those two Degner corners. We'll go through the when we're on board with one of the drivers, when we get into it, we'll go through the track as well. It's a brilliant track. It's the only figure of 8 track as well in Formula One. Anyway, let's go back to the championship, as I've just sorted my I've just sorted the stream out. And yeah, so 62 points separates Vanquish and Samster at the moment. We got Slim in third at the moment, Carton in fourth. Of course, Carton at the moment, of course, he's I think he's in the lobby. Let's take a quick look, because Carton, of course, has been studying for his theory. So good luck with Carton on that one. And he's definitely put this league first, hasn't he, tonight? That's it's so well done, Carton, and hopefully he'll have a good race for that. Andy in 5th position. Then we've got BP6, Lennon in 7th. 8th position is Lucas. 9th is Crazy Power, and 10th is Jamie. In the constructors, we have, of course, Ferrari have just been absolutely immense in this constructors, and they lead the way. Force India at 2nd. Then we've got McLaren in 3rd, Toro Rosso 4th, Sauber 5th, Renault in 6th. We got Haas 7th. 8th is Williams, Red Bull 9th, and 10th is Mercedes at the moment. So that's the championship. We're just taking a look at so then that's the track map there. You can see it's a very elongated track, isn't it? Here in Suzuka. Of course, so remember, tomorrow night, same time, same channel, we'll be off with the Supers as well. So remember, it's a very tight championship here at the moment between Blas and Price Kumquat. So yeah, we want to join us tomorrow, because that is going to be an awesome battle as well. Anyway, let's just take a quick look at the tyre compounds. So we got the super soft, the soft, and the medium tyres. We might need the inters or wets, because of course Japan is known for some rain. I think the first ever time that qualifying both qualifying and the race was held on the same day was 2004, I believe, wasn't it? Something along those lines. I think it was 2000. It was one of the early years, 2004, I think. And then also 2010 or 2011 as well was the second time it was held. It was held on the same days because of one of the typhoons coming in. And I remember sitting there in front of the TV early morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, and the only race we were seeing was the boat racing, when the teams was just floating their paper boats down the pit lane. That's how steep the hill is actually going into turn 1. Of course, it doesn't look like it on the camera angles, but it's a very steep it's a very steep decline into turn 1 and 2, and so yeah, it doesn't look at that like that on the television screen. So as I said, then after Japan we'll go to the Circuit of America, first debuted back in 2012. We then go to Mexico. Of course, that was also a newish circuit as well. 2015 was when it returned. Of course, there's been of course it was there before, because I think the last race before that was actually 2000. No, wasn't it? It was 1992. I don't know where I got 2000 from. So 1992 was last time, up until where Mexico returned. Then we got Brazil. Of course, Brazil, the Interlagos circuit. I love that track, an amazing track as well. But and then we finish off the season in the twilight race of Abu Dhabi. So yeah, we've still got 5 races to go. So 125 points is up for grabs then. So anything can happen. Of course, you can see the circuit length is 5.8 kilometers long, or 3.6 miles, depending on how you like your measurements, how you like your measurements in units. Lap record at the moment is a 131.540, held by Kimi Räikkönen. That amazing race in 2005. Kimi Räikkönen was 18th on the grid. He was very low, and of course the rain affected that 2005 qualifying. Back when they wasn't allowed to change tyres, they had to go straight through the whole race without changing their tyres. And it was a cracking race. It was, of course, it was also the same race where Alonso went on the outside of Schumacher at the 130R. that was a very brave move as well. Of course, it was on the last lap though, where Kimi Räikkönen overtook Fisichella. An amazing move, wasn't it, into turn 1? It was brilliant stuff. And if I was Fisichella, I would be so gutted. I really would, because that was probably one of the lowest points of his career. That was, and Fisichella has only got 3 wins to his name, 4. I think he's only got 3 wins to his name. 2 with Renault, and 1 with the Jordan team, of course, back in 2003. So yeah, that was disappointing for Fisichella. We've got a lot of classic races. I remember '98 as well was a really good race. Of course, it was the championship was between Schumacher and Hakkinen, wasn't it? Schumacher stalled on the grid and went to the back of the grid, had a storming drive, and then unfortunately got a puncture and had to retire from the race. So that was disappointment from Schumacher there. But he had a storming drive up to that point, but. Yeah, that was a shame in the end. Of course, '97 was a really good year as well, because in terms there was a lot of controversy about Villeneuve getting a suspended ban for speeding on the yellow flag. So there's all sorts of controversy going on. But Eddie Irvine drove a superb race, didn't he? It was very very good race as well, because he was on, I think he was on quite a light fuel, and it was a tactical masterclass from Ferrari that day. Unfortunately, you can't say the same here in this era, which is a bit unfortunate. And of course, that 1996 Grand Prix as well. When Damon Hill and Jacques Villeneuve were clashing in the championship as well. Hill surprised everyone by fourth from second on the grid, and of course passed Jacques Villeneuve, brilliantly done. And of course he took the lead and basically stayed there, didn't he? And won the race. Brilliant stuff from Damon Hill, and probably one of the more memorable races as well, wasn't it, back then? 94, of course, also springs to mind as well. Damon Hill, again, probably his best race of his career, really, wasn't it? It was a strange scenario back in '94, though, wasn't it? Where it's done on aggregate, because the race was stopped because of the awful weather conditions. That was also an infamous race because Martin Brundle hit a Marshall, unfortunately, quite badly in his McLaren. So that was a bit of a difficult day. Yeah, it's been so many great Japanese Grand Prix, isn't there? And throughout the years, of course, also the again Alan Prost and Senna is quite synonymous around here, aren't they? '89, I think both of them clashed into the Triangle Chicane. I don't think it was called the Triangle Chicane back then. I don't think it's even called the Triangle Chicane now, is it? Probably. But yeah, so they clashed in the Triangle Chicane there, of course, and Senna then got disqualified very controversially for basically going straight on to the chicane. So Vettel got a 5-second penalty back in Canada last week, but yeah, I think but there has been some dodgy decisions in the past the FIA have made, and that's one of them. And of course also 1990s, where basically another a bit of a controversial moment where the pole position was, in Senna's eyes, was on the wrong side, and Alan Prost basically took the lead straight away, and Senna just went straight into him. Senna, of course, did did openly admit that he did that on purpose. But yeah, cool. I'm a big Senna fan. No, unfortunately, it was a bit before my time. But seeing the Senna documentary really does show how much of a great human being he was. So, and some of his old races as well. I think '93 Donington obviously comes up straight away, doesn't it? That amazing pole lap in Monaco when you're riding on board. The amount when he was doing gear shifts, awesome stuff to see. And what other races have been? I'm struggling now. I can't think of any other races that come off top. '99 was I think that '99 was the first time I ever watched Japan live. Early in the morning. Eddie Irvine had a bit of a weird old crash, didn't he? Back in as we're just getting underway now. Yeah, but Eddie Irvine had a bit of a interesting crash, didn't he, into the Dunlop hairpin, and very interesting because he went on the outside there. Remember then running back and seeing if he can improve his time. He got up to third in the end, didn't he? Unfortunately, in the end, that didn't make a difference. Just hacking it, then won the race from where he needed to be. Anyway, enough about me chatting away about the old times here, because Japan is one of these old school series that's been on the counter for quite a while. Of course, Suzuka did take a bit of a break, didn't they, between 2007 and 8, as they went to Fiji for a bit. So. Yeah, I've been told to stop waffling. So yeah, I had to fill the time there. Anyway, yeah, Fiji did remember that took the went to 2007 and 8, I think it was. Had a very wet race in 2007, wasn't it? Alonso had a humongous crash, didn't he? And Hamilton was showing his wet weather skills brilliantly well there. Unfortunately, 2008 wasn't exactly. The 2008 race wasn't exactly vintage, was it? Alonso won that race, incredibly. After Hamilton went a bit wild into turn 1 and he got a penalty. A bit messy for the championship leaders that race was that day. And anyway, we're about to get underway then. So, of course, as you can see, it's very grey and overcast at the moment, so that's not looking too good for the drivers, is it? If I was the drivers, I'd be trying to get out straight away. So then, let's just take a look and see who we got in this race tonight then. So we got, of course, Slim. We got Deneen back. He was looking very good last week, wasn't he, in Russia? Vanquish, of course, the championship leader. He's looking very much on song, isn't he, at this stage of his title. We got Bradders in. So Bradders then. Look forward to see what he could do. We got Flying Sauce who's back in as well. He's finished to be his third race now. Samster in 6th position. We got BP. Pure Driving's in debutant, so good luck to Pure Driving. Carton, as we said before, has decided to put his revision to one side tonight and have a crack at the Japanese circuit. And why wouldn't you? We got Brett as well. I think he's a debutant, so good luck to Brett. Jordy Asdog, of course, he's a familiar face from the Super League. The Gort, we got Jamie, we got Morris, and Stam, and of course Blaz as well. Of course, Blaz was out in Russia as well, but I was thinking about getting used to his surroundings. As remember that this is all to be confirmed, but Blaz could be moving up a league, but of course, which would be interesting to see how he does. But he has fitted in quite well, hasn't he? In the couple of races he's done in the Elite League, so we're looking forward to seeing how well he could do. Just taking a look then as see who's out there. You see just coming into the crossover now and into the hairpin. This is where we were talking about Eddie Irvine. Had an interesting crash though, didn't he, back in '99? Exiting it out nicely. Got Pure Driving coming out there. Carter then coming up to the spoon corner now. Because Damon Hill and both of them had troubles on that back in '95, didn't they? Back when there was gravel on the outside there, it's not so difficult now. Carson almost found the edge of the gravel there. And now then, just coming up to the, it used to be such a great corner, this 130R. It still is a good corner, but it's not as tough as it used to be. Of course, Carter driving the Toro Rosso, the only Honda Power car in the 2018 season. That will change next year when Red Bull sort of gets the Honda engine as well. If DRS is enabled, then there's only one DRS around Japan, because it's the only place you can really put it is on the start and finish straight. Coming into turn 1 now. Turn 1 is more of a breaking point for turn 2, really, isn't it? Now coming up to the Japanese S's. Now this is excellent, and you can see it's very difficult to get right. Well done to Flying Souls there to get out the way there. I think that's Flying Souls just the yellow flag in the corner, and coming up to Oh, I think that would be Dunlop there. Now coming into these Degners now, Degner 1 and 2. If you get Degner 1 wrong, you're almost certainly going to be in the barrier in Degner 2. And that was brilliant from Carton, right away on the limit, straight away here for Carton. Now coming into the hairpin, then you can see dropping down to second gear on half revs there, now accelerating while not very comfortable on this track. And to be honest, no doubts as well. From Carton, he's a man. I think he's a man who enjoys classic tracks. Taking a bit too much curve there at the spoon. As you can see, it's a very difficult corner to spoon it. Excellent now, nice and now coming into the back straight now. Then there's what's the second sector is about to come up now, and he's done a 1:11.1. He's going into 1:30 now. Decent, not even a hint of a lift there. Now coming into the triangle chicane then. As you can see, it's a bit of a Mickey Mouse chicane. This is, of course, we've had a lot of incidents over there in the past couple of years. Now coming through the final corner, DRS enabled, and he's done a 27.3 so far. So that was a great on board from Carton, showing us just how great this track is. So excellent stuff from Carton. And they're all on the super soft tyres at the moment. Jordy goes across the line and goes second fastest. Medium tyres for Brett on a 129 flat at the moment. So of course Brett making his debut today, so he might just be getting his eye in at the moment. And of course, the qualifying rules then is Stam goes into second position on a 128.3. Carton almost a second in front. Deneen, 128.2 there for Deneen. He's 9/10 off at the moment. He might like to go again. Of course, he was there or thereabouts in Russia. Unfortunately, both McLarens were cruelly robbed of basically battling. We could have had a 5-car battle in Russia, so disappointing for that was, of course, the pit lane glitch really cost him. The Gort goes up into 4th position, 128.8. And just taking a look, you see that's Brett, who's just getting out of the way, I think. And we've got Blaz going right up into second straight away. So nice one for Blaz. He's in the Haas team today. And a lovely shot here of turn 1 and 2. Just since someone else, Pure Driving, has just gone into 8th position at the moment. So he's done 1:37 for Pure Driving. Of course, making his debut. You'd be very nervous. I remember being very nervous in my first ever race at Abu Dhabi, I think it was. Jamie goes second fastest at the moment on the 128.0. He's they're getting closer to Carton, but that's a very good time from Carton to start off this qualifying session. Very impressive. And here comes up Morris now, a lovely pink helmet, and I do like an extravagant helmet. I mean, as I've always ever had a pink helmet. It's like hugging the whoa, getting very close there, Morris, and Morris goes second fast at the moment, 6/10 away. But the Honda is flying the flag quite nicely for Japan at the moment, 1-2. And as we're just watching Asdog there, who's just coming through the final part of that. Bradders has gone very wide into Degner, and you can see that's what happens to Degner if you get it wrong. And he's just he's now become the most expensive lawnmower there. Coming into the triangle chicane now is Asdog. He accelerates away nicely, and he's now abandoned that lap and coming to the pits. Samster's out. Second man in the championship at the moment. Of course, both riders are top in the constructors at the moment, doing very nicely as well. Bradders unfortunately had a bit of a difficult start to his qualifying session. So we got 17 runners in this Q1 session, so we're expecting to lose 2 drivers here. So the bottom 2 will get eliminated, and then the rest of them will go through into Q2, which will be 15 minutes, and then Q3, which will be 12 minutes. Coming into 1:30 now, as you can see. Lovely. Now into the triangle chicane, and braking just before the 50-meter board. That's amazing stuff, isn't it? As Bradders is now carrying on then, so DRS enabled, then coming across the line then, so here goes Bradders now for another lap. As he's on the super soft tyre, because super soft tyres can do 2 laps around here. Yeah, it ain't really a difficult track on tyres, I wouldn't say, but I must admit the thermal temperature of the tyres probably gets up quite heavily around these S's, and if you get one of these S's wrong, then because one leads into another, then you're kind of you basically ruin the lap. And now coming into the Degners, of course, again Degner. If you get Degner 1 wrong, you're going to be in the barrier there. I think they did qualifying session when they were nice. Bradders back end just stepping out there slightly. I think they did a qualifying session in 2009, 2 years after Japan was. Oh, lovely bit of slider now. I think he's in the wrong sport. Bradders is though. I think he needs to be in the rally. The back end looking very tail happy at the moment. Yeah, as I was saying, I think Formula One, when Formula One returned back here in 2009, I think they had 3 red flags in qualifying, didn't they? There was all sorts of chaos going on enough along this straight as well. But when they made a meal of this straight, didn't they? He kept hitting the barrier. I think it's one of the most awkwardest crashes I've ever seen. And then, of course, a couple of drivers got penalised. Now coming into the final sector, now you can see braking again just before the. You can see the back end really trying to step out there. It's a very floaty back end there on Bradders in the Williams. DRS is on, and he's 6th fast at the moment for Bradders, so good time there. He's done a couple of laps on those soft tyres. Just having a look to see how else out there at the moment. Brett's coming across the line, so he's starting his lap now. Pure driving 12th at the moment. Slim on an out lap. Vanquish, of course, the championship leader, is out there as well. So we've got Samster. Ooh, getting on the power a bit too early there, but Samster comes across the line again, hugging the inside line and goes third fastest, 127 now. Asdog is just warming up, I think, but Vanquish then is just about finishing his lap. Now he comes into the final corner now. He can't really call it a corner. Having said that, Glock really. We've had a couple of crashes in that corner, haven't we? Montoya in 2005, I think. Somehow found something more, and also Glock in a much more serious accident. Unfortunately, hurt his. I think he damaged his leg, didn't he? So was unable to take part in the rest of the 2009 season, of course, before going to the Virgin team for 2010 and 11, and maybe 12 as well. So you were just watching a Slim now in the Ferrari under the crossover. Now coming into the hairpin then. Of course, this was Kobayashi's corner, wasn't it? 2010, wasn't it? Kobayashi had a brilliant race, didn't he? Just kept well, you call it dive bomb possibly, but it was very controlled, wasn't it? The only time he ever really touched, we've got to go flying to the free, and hopefully it's just someone just getting out of the way there. Slim taking a couple of bites of the cherry and there's a spoon there, but spoon is quite a difficult corner to get right. You can see his teammate in the foreground there. As I keep saying, very envious of the Ferrari pairing this season. And we had interviews, didn't we, with both Slim and Samster after the Russian Grand Prix, I believe it was. Samster taking a very light line into it. Slim goes faster, 1:26.9, 4 tenths of a second quicker than Vanquish at the moment. So looking very good there, Slim is. Just on board with Asdog then, so he is coming around to complete his lap now. Of course, Asdog from the Super. Of course, won a race, didn't he? His first race, I think, in IRC back in China this year. And unfortunately, his season hasn't gone as well as he would have liked. But remember, he will be building for next season, won't he, Asdog will? So yeah, I think so. I think he was driving just for fun now, won't he, for the final couple of races? So Asdog coming to 13th at the moment, so he's looking good. Just on board then with us. Both Renaults are not looking too good at the moment, down in 15th and 16th position. BP is just coming out of the pits, just on his outlap now. DRS is able, pure driving is a 10th quicker at the moment. He is he's improved by a 10th of a second, but he's still a good. Whoa! Look at that, and look at the whole, very much the understeer, then turned into oversteer there, and he almost was in the scenery there. It's all gravel in there now, isn't it? Sorry, all tarmac in there mostly now. Lovely helmet from the pure driving there, beautiful. So beautiful helmet there from pure driving. Now as you can see, he's just winding down there. So Slim fast at the moment. We've got 6 minutes to go. His qualifying session is flying by. It's still very overcast out there, isn't it? It's not looking the nicest days out there at the land of the rising sun. Geordie has just gone up to 9th fastest. Good time from Geordie. Bradders is back out now. Asdog is taking the scenery route on the outside of Spoon. And now we're just watching BP, who is just winding up for a lap at the moment. So Pure Driving and BP are in the drop zone with 5.5 minutes to go. As he's now, you can see they will be starting to queue up, won't they, around the chicane there. So we could see a bit of traffic towards the end. Now BP is starting his lap now. Then here in the Sauber. Sauber will be called Alfa Romeo from next season, so it'll be unfortunate to lose the Sauber name, but even though the team will still be there, they would just have their name changed. But of course, that was undergone a transition before, haven't they, when they, of course, was bought by BMW at the end of 2005. Coming to the S's now, these are beautiful corners, isn't it? One of the best, to be honest, Japan is probably one of the best racetracks in the world, but first sector is amazing. You can see Deneen getting out of the way there. I was a bit worried. That does distract you, that does, I believe. And then taking a bit of the actual turf in that sector, in Decna 1, under the crossover, then coming up into the hairpin now. Yeah, Deneen getting out of the way there, but it's definitely it does distract you, doesn't it, when you're trying to get past the car, when you're on the flying up, especially around corners like the S's. It's really and into Dunlop. I think Dunlop is not actually a hairpin. I'll get it right in a minute. Down to Spoon then. See playing the throttle there a bit. See correcting the oversteer there, quite nice as well. BP looking very calm in the car at the moment, isn't it? Now he's done a 132 second sector into 130 yard. Taking a bit of the astral turf again, then coming into the hairpin. Into the chicane then. Of course, this is a very good opportunity to overtake someone, but you have to have a willing partner, don't you? Now coming into the final stretch, and he's looking at the 127.8 there. He's got himself into 6th position. BP has had a very good second half of the season, hasn't he? Very strong indeed. Yeah, it looks like of course he had a break, didn't he, halfway through, and since then he's come back and he's been pretty immense, hasn't he? Pure driving is now coming out of the pits, and you can see then. Of course, you cannot go over that white line because you will get a penalty. The Gort is at the moment in the drop zone, so he might have to put his toe down here. He's got 3.5 minutes to go in the Red Bull. His target time at the moment, his safety time is a 1:28.4, but that's from Asdog. But you can see Asdog and Flying Sauce are very close together. Then of course a 28.3 for Stamm and Brothers, a 1:28.2 for Deneen, and those guys are definitely going to be getting quicker. Coming down the back straight at the moment. You can see he's in a hot lap here, isn't he? As he mentioned, 130 yard. Yeah, I don't think the Urz is under too much strain here. So, for example, somewhere like Bahrain, you really have to manage yours. But here, it ain't too bad, I don't think. When I used to race around here, which was yeah, usually I ended up at the gravel quite often. And the Gort is only 400 a second quicker. That is not enough at the moment. He needs to fly another 4/10 of a second at least to get himself out of the drop zone. Is he going for another run? Well, he ain't going to be able to. And the Gort's retired, so the Gort is the first one to be eliminated from this qualifying session. That's unfortunate for the Gort, and he pulls off in a relatively safe place. You don't really see many cars crash there unless you're Rosberg on the opening lap. I think that wasn't Rosberg's fault really. He just got involved in we got tangled up into all sorts of mess there, wasn't it? I think it was when Grosjean whoever came together as well. Just on board, and at the moment, Ansdog is in the pits, as is a Flying Saws in the pits as well, as is Stan. Brothers is out there at the moment trying to improve his time. I couldn't a bit late. Well, Flying Saws is out there now. We expect Asdog to be well, we'd like to see Asdog come out there because we'd like to see him get into Q2. Well, to be honest, we'd like to see all these guys get into Q2 race. Disappointed to see the Gore out fairly early on, but as Brados goes up to a second now, really, doesn't he? Good time there from Brados. Lovely shot of the suspension here. Coming down to turn 1. So Brados really well, good stuff there from Brados. He's a very quick driver, Brados is, so it's not surprised to see him at the top of the time sheets, but nicely done there from Brados. We're just staying with Pure driving at the moment, who is in the Renault. He's under the cosh at the moment, isn't he, to try and improve. This is probably one as Jamie retires from the session, but he's in the pits, I believe, or well, he's definitely through, and I don't think he's binned it. If the driver bins it, they usually drop down quite a bit in the standards, of course, the left-hand side of the tower. We've got a minute to go. So what can Pure Driving do? He's got one more attempt after this. Asdog is not coming back out, so he's fairly confident in P15 at the moment. So Pure Driving has got he's still got one more lap after this. He can have another run if he wants to. And now coming in the final corner, hugging the inside there. He's in the 28s there, so good stuff there from Pure Driving. Really getting on to level there with the Gort, but I think that's it. So we've got our two. It looked like he slowed down. Well, we keep staying on board with him. He has time for one more run, but if he slowed down at the beginning of this lap, then I think it's all over. Flying Sauce is out there now, so Rumboyer Sauce, he was there or thereabouts, wasn't he, in Russia? So let's take a look to see what he's doing. Look at it. This is a great place to be on board with F1 car, isn't it? Absolutely fabulous stuff. You see the famous Ferris wheel on the over in the distance there, taking it very well now coming through Dunlop. Of course, that's when Martin Brundle crashed his car quite heavily back in '94, and now coming into the crossover there and out of it nicely. Now coming into the hairpin then, well, the Kobayashi hairpin, isn't it? Exiting out nicely. Of course, this corner is very dangerous in the wet, isn't it? In the dry, no problem at all, but in the wet, you've got to just be a bit cautious. As now coming into Spoon now, Vanquish is also retired, so all the guys that are retiring, they're not out qualifying. They're just they're basically retiring, getting ready for the next session. And so Flying Salt, we got a yellow flag just in front of us, and that's why that's one of the McLarens there. He's not looking too healthy, that McLaren. That's why he's got a puncture. So Deneen has got a puncture there, so that's not good, is it? Flying Salts, we're going to watch that Flying Salts and then finish this lap. You can see, look how bumpy it is, isn't it? Now DRS enabled, where's Flying Salts? He goes at the 7th position, decent time there from Flying Salts. Yeah, Deneen's got a puncture there. He's only done one lap on that, so that's interesting. So I'm wondering if there's a bit of debris out there or anything like that. But Deneen then getting damaged, getting a puncture, but luckily he is through. Yeah, so yeah, that's an interesting thing. Didn't expect to see a puncture in qualifying. You see the McLaren mechanics just coming on the pits now. It's a very wide pit lane here, isn't it? Of course. So hopefully we shouldn't see any too much difficulties in the pit lane. So that's the end of qualifying then. Pure Driving is out, but he improved his final time by almost 2 seconds, so well in the Pure Driving, and his time is exactly the same as the Gore. Very close between those two good drivers, so very, very good stuff there between the Gore and Pure Driving, but unfortunately both of them are out of qualifying. So who we're going to see in the next session, and we will be seeing, well, the top 15. Well, I wish it's going to go for that then. Flying Salts, I'm just on board with coming to Spoon then. It's it's still looking a bit threatening out there with the weather, but there's been no rain reported on the chat or anything like that. But then again, I haven't actually read the chat recently, so yeah. I'm just reading it. Yeah, there's some tires that have been punctured out there. Of course, we just seen one of the McLarens struggling there, Deneen there with issue with punctures then. So as we're getting ready for the second session, then remember Q2 is where the strategy begins. So the top 10 will have to start on the tires which they set their fastest time on. So the question is then, so what tires are going to go for? Of course, they got 3 selections depending on if it stays dry. Is they will have the super soft, the soft, or the medium. Of course, the medium is the hardest, so that would be the most durablest tire. But that will be very difficult to warm up, won't it? Especially in these cooler conditions. And also you won't have a very good getaway if you go on the super soft tires. Of course, they will give you excellent grip and you will be lightning off the line, but yeah, I don't think those will last very long at all in the race. So the clock has already started counting down, and you can tell then already. You see on the graphic on the left hand side, everyone has literally switched to the middle compound of the soft tire. And Carton then again is his teammate Morris, who's out first. Toro Rosso's got their times relatively quick, didn't they? They didn't have any issues with the traffic or anything like that. So Morris goes on to the soft tire straight away. So everyone else we got 2 guys that are thinking about the mediums. That is Geordie and Stam as well. And then we've got a couple of drivers on the super soft tires. So that's Asdog, who's on an outlap, and Jamie and Vanquish. We're just on board with Morris now. Then of course you can see it's very pedestrian, isn't it, when we're on board with Morris on his outlap. Of course he doesn't want to take any life out of these tyres as much as he can, because he wants to start the race on them, so he doesn't want to cause any issues. Coming into the crossover now in the Taurus, and not into the hairpin. And as you can see now, just exiting that motor. Yeah, so it's going to be very interesting to see what they're going to do then. We do like to see a mixed grid of strategies, but of course these drivers are in the elite, so obviously they know what the best strategy is, don't they? So usually the best strategy, and because they know what the best strategy is kind of, they're all going to follow one another, aren't they? Because really the best strategy is usually start on the soft and go into the medium. Well, some people can counter that and say maybe the medium's best, but you won't get a very good launch there, would you? But you can go deeper into the race. We're just on board now with Morris, so Morris now coming through to start his flying up here in Japan. So of course the start finish straight is downhill, so as you can see, it doesn't really look like it, does it, when we're on board and when we're following the drivers around? But yeah, it's quite a steep downhill there, isn't it? Again, the weather is very overcast out there. We've seen a bit of sunshine, didn't we, to the left hand side? And you can see them now just climbing up to the SSN, and it's just coming to complete the first section now. We've got a busy track out there at the moment. There's only 2 guys in the pits. That is Blaz and that is BP. Yellow flagging 2 and 3 at the moment. So, whoa, and James there. I thought he was going in the wall there. Very well controlled there. You can see we just seen the Mercedes go with the crossover there. Of course, the only figure of 8 race in the track in the F1 calendar. And it would be a shame to see this race go, because we did miss it in 2007 and 8, didn't we? Well, not so much in 2007 because I had a cracking race in Fiji, but that was mainly because of the weather. But 2008 was, I thought, a bit of a lackluster race, to be fair. Oh, I wouldn't say, actually that's a bit harsh, isn't it? I quite enjoyed the race, to be fair. It shows how, but I must have just kind of shows how indecisive I am about races, where sometimes I'm disappointed watching them, or I love it and then look back on it and I'm like, no, that wasn't a really good race, or that was an amazing race. Coming into the final section now. As we got a comment from Rusty. Hello, Mikael. So yes, of course we got. I'm not sure who's. Oh, well, we'll talk about that in a minute. Morris goes fast on the 128.5. Decent time on the soft tyre from Morris, and you see he slows down straight away. Yeah, so it looks like the. I got a frog in my throat, sorry. It looks like the weather Slim goes fast on the 128.4, and that's followed by Brett who's done the 128.6. Look at that. Oh, and then very close over Jamie that goes up to the super soft tyres on the 127.9 there. He's committing quite early on the super soft tyres unless he feels he can get quicker on the soft tyres and goes quicker later on in the session. But Jamie there doing very well. Then we've got a Force India just going off the road there. I think that might be Vanquish. He's the only Force India on the in the lineup today. Stan goes on the medium tyres on the 131, and Samster's on 144. Don't believe that's his true pace for just a second. He might just might have had a bit of an adventure on that lap. But Bradders goes into 5th position on 128.9 there, and Flying Souls then is on a 128.6, and you can see that so far everyone apart from Jamie and Stammer on the soft tyre. So Jamie on the super soft and Stam on the medium tyre so far. So yeah, as I said, they're all kind of going one way at the moment. Which, to be honest, it does spice up the race when they're on different strategies. But yeah, this is still going to be a great race anyway, because Japan does usually bring out the best of these drivers. We've got a yellow flag in sector 3 there. I'm not sure if it's in debris come off there or if that was gravel. Asdog on the super soft tyres goes onto a 129.3 at the moment for Asdog. Remember, this is the aim is to get into Q3, so the top 10 will get into Q3, and of course the 11th down to 15th. So these are they're deciding their grid position. Vanquish is going to start out now. BP. Well, Vanquish has already done his lap there, but I think that was more of a warm-up. Of course, the medium tyres will take a bit long to warm up. So, whoa, big lock up there from Geordie. Of course, Geordie is a very good. As you can see, he's still going. Whoa, he's in the wall, and somehow he's still going, and he's up to 10th. So that adventurous lap has got him into 10th position there. So Geordie can definitely go quicker there. As I was saying, these medium tyres do take a couple of laps to warm up. We got Ferrari there who's just trying to get out of the way. Vanquish is on lap now. Slim, but Samster and Slim are now 3rd and 4th. On board Vanquish he's now attacking the circuit much better. Deneen, I think he might be attacking, and Carton also out there as well. But we're going to stay with Vanquish at the moment, the championship leader. Of course, car 6 in the Force India. He's really enjoyed that Force India this year, hasn't he, Vanquish? He's been looking amazing. And now coming into Spoon then. To have a 62-point lead over any of these drivers, it just shows how phenomenal of a driver Vanquish doesn't it really? Because yeah, I think you can see in the races it's been immense. I think just go and watch the British Grand Prix back in the summer. Well, it wasn't that long ago, was it? But yeah, it was the British Grand Prix. The 4 cars fighting out, both Ferraris, Carton and Vanquish. Vanquish on the alternative strategy, and but up until the pit stop, it was probably one of the best races you'll ever see. 1:28.9 now for Vanquish. He's done 2 laps on the medium tyres. He might have another go there. Remember, we cannot take too much of the life out of the tyres. Deneen there is just a 10th down. We'll stay with Deneen. What about Geordie? Geordie is also on a lap as well. I think Geordie's still got his Nicky Lauda helmet on there, so nice tribute there. You can see that he's run out of ERS here, but Deneen goes 5th fastest. Good time for Deneen. Lovely shot of the suspension there. What about Geordie then? Geordie's in the pits and very attacking that pit lane then, so he's getting ready for qualifying. Carson there just cutting the grass there a bit, so and he's in the pits as well. To be honest, that pit barrier can catch out the unwary, really, can it? I must admit, I've never been in there, but I have seen a couple of races in the past where people have ended up in that barrier on board Blaza, and he's just gone a bit wide in the middle part of Spoon. Spoon's a very long left-hander, isn't it? Bit of correction there for Blaza, and as he's coming through the gears. As he hasn't on a fast lap just yet. We've still got 3 men who haven't set a time. That's BP, Carton, who's come back in the pit, so he might have changed his mind about going on the super soft tyres. And also we've got Blas, who we're on board with now, and Blas is about to wind it up and give it a go. 6 3/4 minutes remaining then of the Q2. Now we're coming down the hill then. So this is Blas's lap then. Coming into turn 1. Turn 1's not really much of a braking point, is it? It's kind of more of a it's more of an entry into turn 2, really, isn't it? And now coming into the S's, this is a fantastic part of the circuit, isn't it? Enjoy these. You guys need to really enjoy these S's, don't you? Because it's been absolutely immense. That's the beauty about having qualifying. Whoa! And he's had a bit of a snap oversteer. He's in the gravel. He's okay though. He's okay. As I think Kimi Räikkönen, we've had a lot of crashes in there. We had Rosberg in there a couple of years ago when he lost his wheel. Well, we won't say a couple of years ago. That was 2010, I think. We've also I think Lacey and Räikkönen kind of had a moment there as well, didn't they? It was a bigger crash because I was Lacey's last ever race. It's 201st and final race there for Lacey. It was a shame, really, that Lacey's career ended on such a sour note there. I can't remember if it was. I think it's a suspension favour for Kimi Räikkönen, and Lacey had nowhere to go. So yeah, as I said there, when you crash here, there was I think the Blas will be after that. He tried to correct a bit of oversteer there, and unfortunately the car just snapped away and he went around the other way. But yeah, usually when you go into the barriers around here, it's usually end of session or end of race. So I think Blas did very well there to correct and keep it out the wall there. We're just watching BP now, in the Sauber. And what's he looking like? He's on the soft tyre, so the medium. You can see then on the on the left hand side, the tower there. We've got everyone on the soft compound tyre now, so that's the middle rating. And what's BP doing? He comes into the chicane. I thought he was carrying too much speed there. That's amazing how he carries speed there. Blas is going for another run, and BP's in the pit, so obviously I'm too happy about something. That was looking good to me. So we're just Blas is now starting another lap. We've got Geordie, who you can see we've got a bit of a queue forming in the second chicane. Asdog out there as well in the half. We're going to have a very busy track in a minute, anyway. Well, I haven't said that. 8 from below. We're all in the pits at the moment. Asdog coming into Spoon now. Bit of correction on the way in there, but see, look how much he's fighting the car in Spoon. There's brilliant stuff, isn't it? There's a proper see, it's a proper difficult corner as he goes on the grass a bit. There's Brothers is just getting out of the way. Got a yellow flag all over the circle. No, it's a 4-course yellow there. Now coming into the chicane just before the 50 metres. I must admit they are carrying a lot of speed through the chicane there. That just shows Blas is retired from the session, and I think that is there's a Asdog goes 7 good time now, but Blas is out of qualifying. I'm not sure if he's in the wall or not. We'll find out in due course, but that's a shame for Blas. Really is. Let's just have a quick look. Yeah, I think he's in the. I can't really repeat what he said in chat, but to me that looks like he's in the wall. So that's a shame for Blas. So he'll be starting minimum of 13th position, but with BP and also Carton still to come, and they're both on their outlaps now. I think that might be And might be Blas who might be dropping down to 15th. As yeah, we just had a comment there from Morris saying that he's feeling a bit uneasy in 6th position, isn't he? Well, you can see why, because Geordie has just gone up there and thrown it into 3rd position. So good stuff from Geordie. We've got Flying Saucers on the super soft tires. Carton is out there as well. Carton comes across the line and goes 2nd fastest. That's why he doesn't feel safe. He's dropped down to 8th in the matter of 30 seconds. What about BP? BP is on the lap now. Vanquish is in the drop zone. As is Brothers. Stam is out there. Brett ain't gonna feel too safe. He's in the pits at the moment. He's still got time. Asdog is dropped down to 9th. And yeah, I think that a lot of drivers might need to think about coming out. Deneen's is still in the pits at the moment. Samson's in the pits, as is Jamie. Morris in the pits as well, and also Jamie's in the pits as well. Yeah. So it was Vanquish. He's done his first time on the medium tires, so expect to see a improvement. I think the delta between the mediums and the softs is about 4 tenths, 5 tenths, 6 tenths. That's a very Oh, and Brothers is retired, but he's in 5th position. That's what's in Brother. Oh, locking up the inside right front there. That was Vanquish did. That shouldn't have cost him very much time. He kept the tyre unloaded, so he was still gaining time. He comes across the line, goes 5th fastest. Vanquish up into 5th then. 2 minutes to go. As things are starting to get go. As Ricky Kaka as let's go guys. Have a good and clean race. These guys usually do have a very good clean race. But of course accidents do happen in Formula 1 because I think that's what a lot of people tune in for. And this track you're going to see a lot of skill on this track tonight, though, especially to keep out the walls and make sure they don't come into each other as well. Going into the dead one there, getting his left front on the AstroTurf there. Stam there, what's Stam doing? He's just about to start us up now. Asdog is in the pit and Asdog is out as well, so we've lost Asdog and Blas so far, the 2 guys from the Super. Jamie's out of qualifying, so he's happy with 1st position, just on board BP then. He hasn't set a time yet. He will have time for one more run if there's an issue with this, but he is running out of fuel. You can see the fuel like flashing down the left, right hand part of the screen with the telemetry. Now coming into 130R and building up the speed then, coming up to 200 miles an hour here, as you can see, just a slight lift there. Well, it wasn't even a lift really, was it? It was kind of more of a dull as they're coming into the triangle chicane now, then dropping out the 2nd gear, then the car, he's fighting with the car. Slim goes faster, 127.6 there, good time there for Slim. Over BP goes for a lot, he goes full fastest. Good time there, but Vanquish then goes faster still, 127.5 for Vanquish. Good stuff there from Vanquish, they're really just unit there as so Morris was definitely not who said he wasn't feeling safe. He's out there now. Deneen's out there as well. Samster is feeling a bit perilous as well. Brett is out there, so Brett's just starting a lap. Asdog is out unfortunately, so Morris is starting up. Deneen is also starting up as well. So we've got a couple of guys out there. So Samster, Deneen, Jamie. Slim is out of session, but that's alright. And oh wow, who is that 14? That was Vanquish there. He might get in the way of Brett there. I thought that might have been, but that was very close there. Stam goes 7th fastest then, so Stam has completed this up and he is in 7th fastest. Brothers is on the cusp, as is Samster. We've got a yellow flag in the 1st segment, and that's what, there's a car, that's a Ferrari just pulled off the road. Deneen there in the 1st sector, Morris also in the 1st sector, so Asdog is in the pits. And Brett, who's still going on for it, so we're going to stay with Brett because he's the 1st one around. He's on the super soft tyre. At the moment, I think Flying Sauce is the only one in the super soft tires, so BP's out. So at the moment, then, so Brothers is looking very much like he's struggling. He's looking. I think he's going to be very looking over his shoulder, very nervously there, isn't he? He's only done 128.3. I say only. I'd love to have a time like that. I'd love to have a time over 129 really around here, or even 130. These guys are well above that. Now into the chicane. Then what is he doing then here? So Brett then making his debut tonight. Of course, he's filling for crazy power. How is he doing? Is he going to get the Sauber into the top 10? He goes 4th fastest. Brilliant time there from Brett. Absolutely immense time. And someone else has just jumped up as well. I think Samster has jumped up into 5th position. Deneen. Oh, Jamie's off into the chicane now. But Deneen then is coming through the final corner. Now Geordie is also on the cusp as well. Geordie's been knocked out. So Geordie has been knocked out, Brad is knocked out, Morris unfortunately is out as well after making a mistake. I think that was just coming into the chicane, wasn't it? And Jamie out, Morris out as well, Asdog out and Blas out. Well, that was a good end to the session there, wasn't it? And Geordie there just out by well, just over a tenth of a second there. Wow, blimey, that really they turned up the wick there, didn't they? A great final part of the Q2 there. So the guys that we're going to lose from this session, unfortunately, is Geordie, Bradders, Morris, Asdog, and Blas, which is but yeah, it was great stuff, wasn't it? Very close, wasn't it, between staying in and getting knocked out. It was almost half a second there. Let's take a quick refresh of how they finished then from Q2. In a minute. You just showed how bad my memory is there. So Vanquish on fastest there, he's on the soft tar. Slim is second. Look at that, just under a tenth of a second between those two. That's amazing. Deneen in third position, he'll be starting on the super soft tires. Jamie fourth, soft. Brett is on the super soft tire fifth. Samster soft, as is Carton, BP, Soz, and Stamp. So those are the guys we're going to see in a minute. Unfortunately, the guys that are out of qualifying: Geordie, Bradders, Morris, Asdog, and Blas. So we're just counting down to Q3 then, and we'll be underway in just a few moments then. So remember, this is the battle for the top 10. So now we're going to organise the first 10 positions on the grid now. As you can see, lovely sunshine as we just take a look at some of the screenshots of the Japanese circuit. Hasn't been anything like that in qualifying, has it? It's still a very dull day here in Suzuka. Well, luckily the rain has held off, and there doesn't seem to be any sign of rain in terms of the chat or anything like that, which is good. Which is good stuff, really, because I think that rain does spice it up, which does spice it up nicely. But I think we do prefer to see a dry race, especially as how close all these guys are. And Slim there accelerates now. He is ready for business, isn't he? 700 of a second behind Vanquish at the moment. Of course, Slim did kind of he didn't exactly admit defeat, did he, after Russia? But he feels that luck is going to need a very big swing, isn't it, if he wants to win the championship this year? So he's going to be the first ever Elite World Champion. Vanquish, of course, is in the box seat. So he's very strong driver as well, isn't he? Vanquish. Carton's just taking us out on a cruisy lap here of Suzuka. It says cruisy, but we're still going like over 100 miles an hour. Stam there out there as well. We got the Slim. Deneen is just exiting the pits there. Of course, when you exit the pits, you almost come on the racing line as turn one, so that's going to be a bit of action. Vanquish, the championship leader, he's been looking peerless, hasn't he, from the start of the season. There's only a couple of races. I think Hungary was the only race where it felt like he was struggling, really, wasn't it? Because because there's a couple of races where it looked like he was struggling, but somehow just was there or thereabouts, wasn't it? So Vanquish is consistent and quick, and that's two things that's just really hard to beat. Just watching the front, so I was then coming into the hairpin. Samster is out there as well. Just taking a quick look to see who's out and about. We have got every car out at the moment apart from two, so that's Jamie and that's BP as well. We've seen the BP nice to leave it quite late here at the moment, and we've got a bit of sunshine around this Suzuka track now. Obviously Carton didn't like that bollard very not much, did he? He just knocked it straight out of the way. So now Carton now is just starting his lap then. DRS enabled. Remember, only one DRS zone around Suzuka, and to be honest, it's probably we could see some amazing overtakes here as well. Of course, the start finish rate was a very famous line there. Alonso, he's gone a bit wide there, might have killed the momentum slightly, but he's still on it. Brett's out on the soft tyre there. Remember, you get a free set of super soft compounds in this Q3 to encourage everyone to go out, because I think back where a couple of years ago we did have issues for where some of the drivers didn't actually didn't actually come out, did they? Especially some of the lower end of the top 10. Excuse me. Very unprofessional of me, isn't it? Yeah, someone's just one of the drivers just asked what the YouTube channel is called. Of course, it's IRC International Racing Community. As I'm just going to share, if I just share the link again, and hopefully you can go from there. So yeah. But anyway, staying with car, and then unfortunately I've missed a lot of that because I can't do two things at once because I haven't got the brain capacity. That's why I'm no good at this. Whoa, and Carton's gone very wide there. He's decided to take the shortcut, and yeah, Carton obviously was fed up with that. So Carton unfortunately made a mistake in his first lap. Is that going to cost him? Have they got enough time to go out for? Whoa, and he's getting slim. It's gone fastest, but Samster decides to do a bit of Formula Drift there, and great stuff. I kept out the wall there. I thought he was going to be in the wall. Stam goes second fast at 1:30. You ain't gonna be too pleased with that, is he? Because Slim has done a 1:26.8 there. Brilliant time there from Slim. Flying Sauce is 1:28. Slim has really put the gauntlet down here, hasn't he? 1:26 is immense around the Japanese circuit. Remember, we were talking about it in the pre-show about 1:30 was the lap record in the race from Kimi Räikkönen. Slim is 4 seconds quicker than that. Deneen goes 4 fast at the moment. They're all in the 28s at the moment. And look how close they are in the 28s as well. 28.2 between Deneen and Flying Sauce. Vanquish is only under 1:27.2 at the moment. I hope Vanquish might have more in his pocket. Well, I think Vanquish would like to think so. As we're just watching Brett, who's just gone a bit wide there. He's on the soft tire, remember, Brett is. So we're expecting. We are expecting Brett to go a little bit quicker on his second run. Of course, the track evolution will ramp up, especially in the final stages of this qualifying session. Just on board there with Jamie, as we've got a Sauber in front of us. Jamie hugs the inside there, and he goes second faster, 1:26.9. Brilliant stuff from Jamie. Tell you what, since he's joined the league, he's been a big player, hasn't he? Both McLarens were very big players in Russia. Unfortunately, the pit lane glitch really cost us an amazing. I reckon it cost us a classic, to be honest, in Russia, which because both McLarens were on slightly different strategies compared to both Ferraris and the Force India Vanquish. And unfortunately, the pit lane glitch did rob us, I think. But on board BP now, coming into the second deck there, he kept his outside wheel on the grass there. Very brave stuff indeed. Then now coming into the hairpin, taking a bit of the outside grass again, and now he's accelerated away. Vanquish though has done a second lap there. He's done a second lap and has gone into a 26.837. That is 200 of a second quicker. Slim has only did one lap on his super soft tire. So is Slim going to come out early, and is he going to try and to do 2 runs on the super soft tires? To look at Vanquish has made it work, hasn't he? Beautiful stuff there from Vanquish, absolutely immense. So we've got 3 drivers on the 1:26 mode. Then we've got a bit of a gap back to Flying Saucers on the 1:28. Just on board BP now, just coming into the chicane now, halfway through the chicane now, the back end was sliding a bit there, but it might compromise his exit. Not too much though, because BP is down to 27.7. Good stuff from BP. He's slots in the 4th position. He's on the 2nd row of the grid at the moment. Brett is coming into the pit, so we've got Sam Stir now, who's just getting out there. Carton is out there as well. We've got 5.5 minutes to go. These guys are going to be out early as just on board Samster, so he's going to start his lap. Carton's gone wide. He's corrected it. I think that's where, because we saw Blas go off there, and he's gone wide again as a deck. No, he's kept it going, so John is edge of the seat stuff there, wasn't it? Brilliantly controlled from Carton. There's a couple of times where I thought that he was going to have to abandon the lap, or if he kept his foot in, he would not have been able to see the checker flag in this Q3 session. Well, at the moment it's quite a quiet track out there at this current moment of time, but the guys are just in the pit lane. They're just deciding on what to do. They probably might be visualising the lap in their heads. Of course, a lot of the Formula 1 drivers used to. I think Coulthard used to be one guy that really did that. Of course, back in the early days, was it, where they just used to, when they had qualifying for an hour. This qualifying format is probably one of the best qualifying formats under. It took a few to get there, but once they've got there, it's a very good qualifying position as well. Carton comes across the line. He's going for a 27.1 there, and he goes in the full fast mode. Just outside the 1:26 is there from Carton. Is he going to carry on and go for another run? Chance, I reckon Carton can go quicker as well. Actually, he had a bit of a scrappy middle sector there, where it looked like, it looked like he was out of control, but I think that Carton does have a very exciting driving style, which Chance we'd love to see. Samster is in the pit, so he hasn't set a time yet. He is second in the championship, remember. So he would like to be as close to Vanquish as he can. And Carton is also going to come to as well, so they're going to have to have a pretty quick turnaround. Flying Sauce is now on a lap. He is just starting now. We've only got 2 cars out there, so you shouldn't expect to see another car. And he's gone wide into the exit turn to using the AstroTurf and then some. Now into the S's, and you can see lovely part of the track, isn't it? Almost. The question is, here's the question then: what do you reckon? What sections do you reckon is better? The Silverstone of Maggots, Beckett's, or is it the S's of Japan? It's quite a tough one, isn't it? If you wanted to build a track, you'd probably include both those sections of track, wouldn't you? Really? Austin did try, didn't they? Of course, in the Grand Prix of the Americas, which I think is up next, I believe. I did. That's how short term my memory is, isn't it? I'm like a goldfish. Struggling to. I think it's America, which is the next one. Of course, the Circuit of the Americas. To be honest, that's a really popular track. I've never got on with that track, mainly because I just struggle around there. So, but it is a very good track to drive, isn't it? We're just on board Flying Sauce then. And as he's now coming to the 130 yard end, his fuel lights flashing, and his Flying Sauce going to come in the pits and come back out. Vanquish is out of the pits now, so he's the first one of the guys to blink. I think Stam's out there as well, but Flying Sauce is going to try and complete it now. He's in the DRS range, he goes into the 27.3 and he goes 5th fastest, so 2 tenths away from Carton. Unfortunately, I think that might be it for Flying Sauce. He might be able to get one more run in, but he's turned his ERS down. So Vanquish is out there at the moment. I think Stam though is go the first one across the line, and he does. Of course, he's in the Williams. This will be one of the last times you'll see Williams in their Martini livery. Well, their kind of censored Martini livery, of course. But yeah, before they go into the rocket, the rocket livery. Yeah, to us that caused a bit of. Well, I remember being in the chat with all the drivers, and when that first came out, there was a lot of negative comments about the rocket livery. There was 1 or 2 positive comments, but overall it was a bit of a negative feeling, wasn't it? It's such a shame to see Williams so far off the pace, isn't it? In the you can see Stam getting a bit of dirt kicked up there, going into the crossover. Such a shame to see the Williams so far down on. As Deneen gets out of the way there, nicely done for Deneen now. That shouldn't have hampered Stam. Now coming to the final sector of that. As I was saying, it's such a shame to see Williams so far down in F1 really. Of course, Williams was a dominant force, weren't they, for most of the 90s really, weren't they? Won the championship in 92, 93, 96, 97. Majority of the 90s they were just absolutely unstoppable, weren't they? Of course, with that Renault engine as well. Now into the chicane then, as Stam then comes across. There's a car in front, that shouldn't be a problem. We've got half a minute to go, and Stam comes across the line, hugs the line again, and he goes 5th fastest, so replaces Flying Sauce. I think Vanquish is now going for another run, so I wonder if he caused a bit of problem there. Slim is on the lap as well. We've got Jamie out there, Carton is out there again, so I think Carton is just about to start his lap. He is indeed. Stam just finishes up. Flying Sauce is in the pit, so as we said, Flying Sauce unfortunately is called it a day. Deneen is just starting his lap, Brett is just starting his lap, and Samster is just starting his lap as well. So Slim is the furthest one along, unless I'm very much mistaken, which I might be. Slim then going very wide into the spoon corner, and now exited it nicely. You can see keeping well within the track limit, and now coming up to 130 yard end at the moment. Of course, the race is about to begin imminently. So yeah, that's the main event of tonight's race meeting. Into 130 yard there. We just joined him just as we were through 130 yard, locking up the inside there. He shouldn't have cost him too much time there, because he kept within the apex there. Hugs the line. Slim goes fast as a 1:26.2. Brilliant stuff there from Slim. Amazing stuff. Vanquish there, what's he going to do? We've got Jamie out there as well, so we're just watching Jamie. Vanquish is just behind in the Force India, so they can't go again. This is their final shot. Jamie, unfortunately, I don't think he's going to improve there, but what about Vanquish? He goes 2nd fastest and he improves, but that is an impressive gap there from Slim there. But Samster goes 2nd, so it's an all Ferrari front row at the moment. Brilliant stuff there. Once again, the 2 Ferraris are flying the flag really well for the Prancing Horse. Carton, who else is out there? We've got BP just crossing the line. He stays 8th position. Deneen out there, and Brett comes across the line, goes 9th fastest. What about Deneen? Deneen then comes up to the line. Carton goes 4th fastest. Deneen goes 8th fastest. So that is the end of qualifying and for the Japanese Grand Prix. Loving the sparks, aren't they, coming out of the bike of that McLaren. So Deneen is 8th fastest. Good stuff. That's a very good qualifying session from the Ferrari guys out there. Brilliant stuff. Amazing stuff. And yeah, let's just take a look at it. 2/10 of a second. Slim was flying out in front, wasn't he? Brilliant stuff. Slim 2/10 of a second in front of his teammate Samster, who was Vanquish, who's 4/10 behind. So that's quite a big gap between him and Vanquish, isn't it? Carton in 4th position there. Once again, we've got the top 4 in top 4 positions. Then those top 4 have been immense all year round. Jamie is really starting to show some potential there in 5th position. Stam in 6th position with Flying Sauce 7th, and 8th was Deneen. And we'll go for the rest of the grid when the formation lap gets going. Yeah, an absolute quality lap there from a Slim. Amazing stuff. Good commit, and we've actually got a bit of sunshine now out there now. So we got rid of the very cool and overcast conditions of qualifying, and it's looking a lot better now for the race here. Of course, Japan is known for having some wet races, so but that is looking quite a nice day for racing here in Suzuka. Now, what the drivers are doing here, then they're just preparing their strategies. Remember, there's no team to back them up in the in online Formula One, because they have to do all this themselves. So they have to choose their tyre selection, they have to choose their fuel, and they have to decide on what is the best strategy for them. And of course, one stopper is not always straightforward, as I found out to my cost. And we're just going for the formation lap now because we've got green lights on. That's the only other time that the green lights are used in Formula One is. Because whoa, we got a bit of lag going on there. There's Slim there just flying off the line. There's coming into turn 1 and turn 2 then. So let's just take a look at the grid as we're getting around this Japanese circuit. And you can see there's a lot of yellow there, isn't there, on the left hand side. So we've got Slim pole position, Samster second, so it's a Ferrari 1-2 again. And if they steal that 1-2 today, I don't think they'll get the constructors just yet. Well, Master's terrible, by the way, so yeah, so just have to bear with me. Vanquish is in 3rd, Carton is 4th, Jamie 5th, Stam in 6th position. We've got Flying Sauce in 7th position. Deneen and Flying Sauce getting very close on the narrow part of the track. It coming into the Degnan corners now. We got BP 8, Brett BP 9th, Brett in 10th. Good debut for Brett. 11th position is Geordie, just outside the points. We've got Brothers in 12th position. 13th position is at Morris. 14th position is Asdog from Super, as is Blast is also from Super as well, so good luck to both of them. Well, good luck to all of them, really. I'm not being biased on the Super, obviously. I was the driver there. More of a obstruction, really. The Gorted 16th position, and Pure Driving is in a 7th position. So the guys that are starting on the if you're just watching the Ferraris come through now, guys starting on the super soft tires, and is Deneen, is Brett, is Brothers, and of course Pure Driving going for a very attactive opening couple of laps. On the medium tyre, we have just got the Gort, so he's gone a completely different way to the rest of the drivers, and everyone else is on the soft tyres, or the middle range compound. So now we're just coming into the chicane. Now this is where it all builds up, where it probably gets the most numbers. So we've got a couple of disqualifications there on the formation lap, so that might cost him a bit of tyre temperature. It's car 4 then coming through then to take his place in the grid then for this Japanese Grand Prix. So we've got 27 laps around this magnificent circuit. We've got Asdog also retiring, as also getting disqualified as well. So yeah, then 2 bikes near the end of the lap, and there's Pro Driver as well. So just lined up there, we're just on board Blaz, is the final man to complete the formation lap. So 27 laps around the Japanese Grand Prix. It is a beautiful day. You can't really get conditions much better than this. As yep, Blaz is just lined up. So here we go then. 17 cars around Japan. We got 3 sets of, we got 5 sets of lights are on. When they go out, we'll be racing, and we'll go. And it's a good start there from Slim. A good start there from both Ferraris, and a brilliant start there from from Vanquish. So go on the inside there, touching there. We've got a bit of oversteer there on the Ferrari. We've got a yellow flag at the back there. There's awful conditions at the back there. Pure Drawing gets around, but Flying Sauce has been spun around, unfortunately. He's right at the back of the field. We've also got Stam who's dropping down as well. Stam's in the gravel trap, and he's I think he's in the beach side, so he is now dropped down to last position. A bit of contact there as well, but Vanquish is up in the second position already. Then a great start from Brett, who's at 4th position. Remember, he's on the Super Soft Tire as well. Asdog is dropped down in position, unfortunately. He's good, dropped behind the Pure Racing, and that looked like a bit of a messy start. Unfortunately, Stam and Flying Sauce has been the biggest losers off the line, and a double lockout there from the Slim as comes into the chicane, into the hairpin end, but you can see then Slim leads Vanquish second, Samster in third position. We've got a great battle between Asdog and the Pure Drive at the moment, as you can see then. So Vanquish third, Samster, then we've got Carton. This is going to be great. Jamie and Brett in 6th position. We've got Deneen, who is in 7th position. Both these guys on the Super Soft Tire, so expect a bit of some action from these guys as well. BP is at 8th position, Bradders 9th, Geordie is up into 10th position, Morris 11th, Blast 12th, Asdog 13th, the Gore and Stam. Oh, they got someone else. Asdog is off the track, Stam is off the track as well. This is going to get tasty, or more like this right-handed disaster here. Oh, they're ricocheting off each other, damage is going all over the place, and Stam has now gone very wide into the 130 yard, but I'm not sure if that would be yeah, that was just a very novel line to take. Bradders is in the pits, and so we're going to see a couple of drivers in the pits, and Stam in the pits as well. Asdog in the pits, as is the Gore, the Pure Driver in the pits, as and we've got a 5 second stop to go playing for Asdog for speeding in the pit lane. 9 tenths of a second is the gap between a Slim and Vanquish at the moment. Samster in third. You'd be disappointed that Vanquish has got in front of him on the start, but this is not over yet. We've still got 26 laps to go. Both salvers are now at 6 and 7. As Geordie is up to 8th, we got Deneen who's dropping down a couple of positions there. So Deneen looking, he's on the wrong side of the track there, isn't he? He's gone very wide, and there's a Toro Rosso. Brilliant overtaking there from Morris, absolutely stunning. But now this is going to be interesting, going into the outside of the hairpin. As he's lost a lot of end plate there, Deneen. That's what he's struggling with a turn in there, but he's still giving it a go, isn't he? He's hanging out there, brilliant stuff. On the outside then is Morris. So this is battle for 9th and 10th position. Is he going to have a go into Spoon? Of course, Vettel and Verstappen didn't they, last year, and that entered in tears, but not at the moment. You can see Deneen is really struggling, isn't he? On those, it's not the Super Soft Tires, unfortunately. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1. Is Asdog, and we got a spin. It is Asdog there, unfortunately, going on the Super Soft Tires, having a bit of an interesting opening couple of lights there. Asdog isn't, and now you can see them. We've got a bit of a queue forming up. We've also got a queue forming up behind the second McLaren as well. Then, so Deneen. That's the bollard's gone already then, as up into Nas Blas there in 11th position there, so good start there from Blas. The IRC has been enabled, not this lap though, they'll be ready on the next lap. Just taking a look to see what's going on, and Morris needs to get by Deneen as quickly as possible, because Deneen is not a slow driver, but he has damaged his front wing. He's gone wide into turn 2, and now Morris is up into 9th position. Blas might follow him through there, not quite as Deneen shuts the door quite firmly there. Of course, Blas going on the outside there. Deneen almost lost it there, and he's going to have a quick look. Usually don't overtake in the S's unless it's very wet. As the Red Bull showed very well in 2014, you can't overtake around there if you've got a wet setup. And you can see them Blas now all over the back of Deneen coming into the deadness there. Deneen goes slightly wide, locks up there. Deneen struggling at this stage of the race. Unfortunately, he's damaged a bit of his front wing. And look at the as a Slim now. He's having a look. There's half a door open, and I'm not sure if Blas made contact with Deneen there, but Deneen there getting a bit squirrely on the exit. He's going to have a go on the outside. I don't think he's going to see. Look how much time. And Blas there, bit of contact. He damages front wing there, but Deneen's gone wide, and Blas is now up into 10th position. He was desperate to get by Deneen and give him a little nudge out of the way, just to kind of just to get the job done quickly then. So at the moment, the lead is now 1 second. It's gone down by 2/10 of a second there. So at the moment, Vanquish is second, third position. Samster, Carton in 4th position. DRS is now enabled, so this is where it's going to get very juicy indeed. Both Sauber 6 and 7. Geordie is an 8. 9th, and Deneen is now dropped down to 11th position. Bradders is 12th. The Gore, and then Pure Drive in. Carton's got a 3-second penalty, and Carton has dropped down for some reason. So, and he's got nudged out of the way there from Brett. Brett is up into 5th position, and the second Sauber is having a look as well. So, Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm doing with Carton now. He looks like he's dropped behind Jamie and Brett now. We're just in the end of that. As Braddock's now sets the flat stop of the race, he's dropped down to 12th position, but it's not all over yet. So this is the most interesting part of the race so far, is the battle between Jamie, Brett, Carton, BP, and Geordie is just outside the DRS zone. Of course, Brett is on super soft tyres, so he will have an advantage at this stage of the race. At the moment, Samster is now 4/10 behind Vanquish. Of course, Vanquish can afford to finish behind Samster for the majority for the rest of the season and still pick up the championship. So from that point of view, Vanquish could take it easy, but is he going to take it easy? I doubt it. Vanquish is a winner, isn't he? All these guys are winners, so I think it's going to be hard for a lot of these guys that have come up through the ranks to be going through the ranks and to win and to be winning most of the time, and then coming into the Elite League and having to get used to finishing like 10th or something like that. So it's very difficult to do, isn't it? Of course, for example, Blaz, who has been pretty decent in the Super League this year, hasn't he? He's been there or thereabouts, very consistent, been on the podium most of the time, more often than not. And at the moment he's 10th position, and 10th in the Elite League is not bad. It's not a bad thing at all, is it? And Morris going on the outside of Geordie, going into someone. Geordie's gone a bit wide there, but Morris not following through just yet. As you can see there now, just a Lionel Sir at the moment, and is Stam has come back into the pits and gone to the medium tyres now, so he's going for a longer stint. Oh, and that's one of the Ferraris. That's Samster. He's in the wall. Well, not quite in the wall, but he's trying to get away. Remember that unfortunately the other Ferrari got disqualified, didn't he? There's a Blaz now going on the outside as well. Samster has made a mistake. He's damaged his car as well. We're on lap 5 out of 27, and that is a major mistake there from Samster, and that has let Vanquish off the hook, really, hasn't he? Because he was putting some pressure on Vanquish. And Samster is now dropping down the order. He's damaged the end plate. That is going to have to come into the pits. Is there? See, lighting up the rear wheels. So there might be a bit of frustration in that cockpit of Samster. That's disappointment. He was on the front row as well, isn't he? He might have been frustrated of Vanquish getting off the line in front of him as well. Back on board then with Morris, who is still hounding down Geordie. The battle for 7. He's got a good run here, hasn't he? He's going to. I don't think one for a jar is going to be a place overtake. You can see these cars are very wide these days, and he's going to go on the outside. Geordie defends the inside quite nicely as well. Oh, Geordie's locked up, but he's still kept it on the racing line. Parked his car on the apex, and beautifully done there. Oh, clumping the concrete there, isn't he? As you can see them now starting on. They're not spreading out as such. They're still in DRS range, and Brett is now all over the back of Jamie. The battle, this battle hasn't, and Samster's also got a 5 second penalty for speed in the pit lane. Big blow for Samster. He wants to go a lot longer in this race than 5 laps on the soft tyres. So he's going on the medium tyres, and we'll see how well he does there. Samster is coming out of the pits now. We're just trying to look down the order because they're Flying Sauce is now coming up to the back of Pure Driving, locked up there. Pure Driving did. He's also got a 3 second penalty there. That might be a bit harsh. We didn't really talk about penalties much, did we, in qualifying? Brett all over the back, and the Carton all over the back of Brett here. So Carton is the meat in the sour sandwich here. So yeah, I think that they might go with it. Just as we leave the battle for 14th position, Flying Sauce now goes up to 14th in front of Pure Driving. Typical. As Jamie now then is the third position has been released. Samster's dropped down to 12th, and we're going to keep an eye on his progress, but that is a big shame for Samster, isn't it? Of course, it was at Dunlop, I believe it was. You see, the revs are really revs are going a bit wild there on the Brett. I'm not sure if it's a problem with his car or whatnot, but yeah, that's a bit it's really, look at that, the revs are just maxing out there. Is he struggling there a bit? Well, we've got another 3 second penalty there for Bradders. Yeah, we didn't really talk about the penalties much around here. They're not really too harsh, really, but you can pick them up if you're a bit careless. And a lot of drivers are picking them up so far in the early stages of the Japanese Grand Prix. Lap 7 out of 27 already. Slimbo still leads by 1.6 seconds. Jamie is almost 2 seconds back now. Got a bit of a queue now behind Jamie. The super soft tires might start to struggle now, and they are sliding around slightly. No, Bombori Carton, and he's he's now starting to really put the pressure on Brett, because this is Brett's first ever IRC Elite race, so he might be a tad nervous. He's going to be even more nervous, isn't he? Because he's right up in the sharp end, isn't he? so right where the big boys play. So he doesn't want to. Yeah, he wants to really make a name for himself, doesn't he? He's definitely doing that at the moment. So good stuff. Flying Sauce is and the Gore is now got by Pure Driving as well. Pure Driving dropping down in the order a bit at the moment. He's struggling. Pure Driving at the moment. But we've got no retirements, which is very good to see. So we've still got 17 drivers remain after the 17th started. Brett's gone slightly wide there. This might encourage Carton. We're on board Carton now. Coming at the back straight there. Then of course we got a yellow flag in sector 2, and that's why there's a McLaren in the wall. It's Deneen who's got on the wall with that. It looks like he put the power down too much out of the hairpin, and that is that's a shame for Deneen. He's going to have to come back in the pits. Carton, but let's go back here. No, that's Brett's in the pits then. So Brett's in the pits. What tyres are going to go on? Surely he might have to go on the medium tyres, I think here. The battle for 6 and 7 is carrying on a bit between Geordie and Mark. So let's see how far back. Blast is having a lonely race at the moment in 9th position. He's on the medium tyre. Brett, is he going to come around in front of Bradders? Bradders locks right up very heavily there. He should come out in front. We've got a big old gap between 9th and 10th position at the moment. So Brett is now out on the medium tyres. So how powerful is the undercut around here? So this is going to be a fairly interesting couple of laps. So just on board then with the Gort, and he's coming back from the field. He's having a look at Flying Sauce. He's going to not quite, but he might be waiting for the DRS range. And Flying Deneen then is in the pits. So Deneen having a bit of a miserable race here today in Japan. So the Gort has lost a lot of momentum there. Pure Driving in a 16th position and Stan down in 17th position. Slim has now got 1.5 seconds to Vanquish. Vanquish's got 2.6 seconds in front of Jamie. Carton's been released now, but BP is following him all the way, and we've also got Morris and Geordie still attached to each other at the moment. Whoa, and oh my gosh, I thought he was in the wall there. Good save there from Jamie. We've got 3-second penalty for Samster as well, so Samster might be a bit fired up really after that spin there. Got a yellow flag in sector 2, and why is that? Just on a look now, it's gone there. So it's gone as soon as it came out there. So good job, just making sure that no one's having any events at the moment. So lap 8 then, lap 9 of this Japanese Grand Prix. Astor gets a 5-second penalty. So I apologize, not 5. 5-second penalty if you speed when you come into the pits. And the gap is down to under a second there between the front two. So I'm not sure if Slim made a mistake there. Of course, his teammate made a mistake. Samson, he's round this Dunlop corner here, and coming into Degner now. But you see he's dropping off the back. Then BP is just over half a second back from Carton. Actually coming into the crossover then. Beautiful camera angles here. Now into the hairpin. Massive lock up there from Vanquish. Still made the entry quite nicely there. Samster is now got in front of his brothers is in the pits. He's coming out now in the Williams, and he's now in 14th position. Wow, so it's all going on at the moment then. There's whereas Vanquish is starting to, I think he might be starting to put the pedal down a bit now. I think Slim has controlled this race very nicely, and remember, it's very difficult to overtake on this circuit. There's probably one, maybe two good opportunities, but apart from that, if you have to have good call, massive lockup again. So I can tell these tyres that come to the end of their usage, can't you? They're really like starting to put the pressure on. See Vanquish there on the steering wheel, just tweaking the engine power all the time. Now coming down to turn 1 then 6 tenths of a second, so he's still in DRS range. Going into turn 2 now. So you can see the gap between the front two is very close, as we got a yellow flag in sector 1. That's why it's Deneen who's struggling. I wonder if he's got a setup wrong there for Deneen, because he's really struggling around these long corners. So it's a shame for Deneen, isn't he? He's having a bit of a miserable race after such a high end. Well, it wasn't really a high in Russia. It was a great race in Russia, which he got robbed off, didn't he? So Deneen is struggling there. And Slim now just jumping in front slightly, but at the moment he is still leading. 17 laps to go around Suzuka. So the Gore has got a 3-second penalty, and they're all starting to calm down a bit now, which is good to see. So well, it's good for me. So but of course I reckon it will. I reckon this is the calm before the storm, isn't it? At the moment they're just watching to see what each other are doing. They don't want to They don't want to make a mistake, and you've already seen in this race how easy it is to make a mistake. Got great drivers like Deneen, who's really struggling. I reckon he might have a problem. He's got a handling problem, hasn't he, in that McLaren? So you can see he's spun a couple of times. You've even seen the Samster, second in the championship. Unfortunately, on a bit of issues as well. Vanquish is very close to Slim now, very close indeed as they come over the chicane now near Exeter. Now nicely you can see, but Slim's got and Deneen is out of the race unfortunately. So I think he might have called it a day in the pits, I believe, because he's not on the start-finish straight. So that's a big shame. As Bradders is going on the outside there of pure driving. So brilliant stuff from Bradders. Great move there on the outside there. Good stuff indeed. Vanquish didn't get through, didn't get in front of Slim. Also with that, but look at these two, Geordie and Morris really starting to get closer and closer, isn't he? Carton is still also shadowing Jamie in the final battle for the podium position at the moment. As you can see it's very close, isn't it? We've had a lot of pit stops already in this race. Let's just take a look at the stops at the moment. So from 9th downwards, so we've had Brett, Samster, and Soz and Gore all on one stop. Brothers has done 2 stops, and also Stam has done 2 stops as well. So that's the pit stop position at the moment. And lovely. I must admit, these some of these heli-cam shots are brilliant, and they just also shows how narrow some of these tracks are and how big these cars are, how long they are, how much they and that's Pure Driving, who's out of the race unfortunately. And I think it's in the S's as well. It looks like it's in the S's as Samster is dropped. Oh, Samster has made a huge, it's gone in same place as before. He is on the gravel, and Samster is same place as before, and then just as Pure Driving, and Samster's retired from this race. He's come back on the track there, so that might cause some issues. Vanquish and Slim are in the pit. I wonder if they were contemplating where it's going to be a safety car. I wonder if Jamie now come in again. I think Jamie might be making this move into turn 1, not quite, but Geordie's gone wide, and Morris, I keep calling him Jamie for some reason, I reckon he is, and he was very kind there, wasn't he? I'm wondering if there was Blaz up the full. I wonder if the game might have thought that he had oh, this is going to be good, and Brett's through, so Brett is good. It could be the and Slim has had a brilliant stop. Samster has left the session. That is a major blow for Samster. Soz as he got a 5-second penalty for exceeding track limits here. And Stam, we got another yellow flag in sector 2 here. Stam is out. We've lost like 3 drivers in the matter of like a lap or 2. As you can see, Geordie and Morris still fighting for position at the moment. Blaz is in 4th. 5th position is Slim. 6th is Brett. 7th is Vanquish. Carton is right beyond him. Vanquish had a terrible pit stop. He has dropped right. He's lost a lot of time to Slim. And so as Vanquish locking up there, as Carton now all over the back, we've got a yellow flag in sector 3 because Asdog is also out of the race. I'm not sure if it's the tyres that are struggling, or if I wonder if the tyres are struggling a bit there, and then we're just on board. Then we've got a yellow flag flashing at the end of the lap. And he's gone into the pit wall. Asdog, he's gone into the pit wall then, and whoa, and that is a really, it's very easily done, as you've seen. Geordie there, very close there, and Geordie's got a 5-second penalty. You see, he was struggling to slow down the car, wasn't he? And they're all following each other in then, so yeah, they're mirroring each other at the moment. Geordie's in the pits then, so he's going on to the medium tyres. Also on the medium tyres is Jamie. Where's Jamie going to come out of the pits then? As Sim is now firing through and into the lead. But is the overcut going to work here? I don't think it. Oh, as now up in 2 seconds is Brett. Brilliant stuff from Brett. But Jamie is up in the 3rd. So Vanquish has had a poor pit stop window, hasn't he? He's dropped down behind Brett and Jamie. Is Brett going to be able to go to the end now on the on those tyres? I'm not sure. But he's done 5 laps on the medium tyres. He's now got a bit of a queue now behind Jamie. Geordie now has got 5-second penalty. That's going to might cost him position to Morris, because these two have been fighting quite close together. I meant to say Geordie. I don't know why I got Jamie on the break. And as you can see them, we're on board then with the Gore and Brothers. Can't believe 2 high caliber drivers are fighting over 11th and 12th at the moment. But as you can see, this race is definitely will come to someone. There's a Vanquish is now all over the back of Jamie. Carton's all over the back of Vanquish as well. We have got a good old battle here, isn't it? A battle royale, haven't we, here in Japan? And now Carton is just staying in the wheel tracks of Vanquish, coming down to Spoon. You can see the dirty air, how's the dirty air affecting Carton? Not that bad actually. He did have a bit of understeer there. The Vanquish have had the same thing now because he's all over the back of Jamie. Now coming up to 130R. Vanquish is going to be on board with now then. So Jamie staying to the centre of the track. He's going to left to right there. A bit, just going left to right there. But Vanquish is going to go on the inside. He's got the momentum. He's going to go on the outside. Not quite done, but he's going to do the old switcheroo, isn't he? Now, ooh, he's on the inside. Oh, and there's a bit of contact there, and Vanquish has been forced off. And where's Carton? He's on the outside, and Carton is through. Got a yellow flag saying BP is out. Oh my gosh, BP is out of the race. He's hit the wall at the end of the pit lane, and that is, you can see there, just all of a sudden started to hit the wall, and Carton's gone wide, and he is thrown away the position that he just gained off Vanquish there, and Carton is, wow, that is disappointing. So we've got a virtual safety car because of that because of that massive crash, and into the pits comes, yeah, that's an awful crash there from BP. And we also seen Asdod doing the same thing. Brothers is now back with the 10th position. This is only a virtual safety car, so it's like basically putting, as Crofty usually says, just basically putting all the cars onto one scale electric track, and they must go around. It's basically like putting the pit limits on, really, isn't it? So you've got to just stay within the delta and just don't go over it. So unfortunately Carton, who just got into 4th position, is unfortunately thrown away almost instantly. Race control, DRS is now enabled, so we're back on it then. We have got 11 cars left out of the 17 to start. All of a sudden, I think I put a jinx on it again, didn't I, really? I was saying how good these drivers are doing, as they weren't actually, they were doing really well, as we hadn't had no retirements up to, well, you didn't have no retirements up to a certain point, and now all of a sudden we've got a couple of guys that drop out, as you've seen now Morris just keeping an eye on Geordie, because he doesn't have to pass him now, but I'm sure that all these guys are racers, they want to pass, don't they? So they ain't going to stick behind him. Maybe even as much as Jeff can be useless, he can also be very very helpful. As you can see, we've got, I think that's Carton in the foreground there. He's gone wide again there. So I wonder if Carton is struggling on the medium tyres there. Geordie double lock up there. That ain't going to help his tyres at all, is it? Morris there. And Carton, that's Carton in the pits then. So there, I wonder if he had damage then. That's why he might have gone wide, so I apologise to Carton. I think he might have had damage going into turn 2, and that's why he dropped wide. So that is a big blow for Carton tonight. That really is. So that is probably that's thrown himself out of the battle then for the podium position. Brett doing an absolutely outstanding job in 2nd position there. Good stuff. His teammate unfortunately out of the race. As we're just going to rejoin this battle here. There is Brett, then it's Jamie, and then it's Vanquish. So we've got 11 cars left, and let's just go through the order then, as we're just about at half distance. Slim leads by 4 seconds now. Brilliant. The pit stop window has really helped him, hasn't it? So massive lock up again from Vanquish. He's really strong around the hairpin, isn't he? Brett in 2nd position. The debutant is looking very at home here in the Elite, isn't he? 3rd position is Jamie doing a good job there as well. Vanquish in 4th position, the championship leader, and he might be smiling under the helmet. Well, he might be, he might not be. I doubt he is, to be honest, because I think he would like a bit more competition. It's a bit like a Lewis Hamilton happens, isn't he? He probably would enjoy seeing Samster and Slim they're fighting, but he has got new competition, has he, in terms of Jamie and Brett at the moment. They're looking very good. Both those drivers are looking. It's looking awesome to see as well. Oh, lover lock up there, and Geordie in 5th position in the Renault, but he's got a 5-second penalty. Morris in 6th position, and he is looking very close to Geordie there, very close indeed. It was just under a 10th of a second at one point, and now we're on board then with Morris, and we'll continue with the run down the order in a second. He's gaining, but I think this straight is too short. You see he's agonising in short. He's just waiting for Geordie to make a mistake here, and mistakes can be made. I'm not sure if Brett's made a mistake there, or these guys are just starting to catch up now, or probably more likely than not I've missed it. Oh, Vanquish, Jamie's gone wide. Vanquish is through up into a podium position, and that's again Vanquish there. You can see then you just got to sit there, bide your time, and you see Vanquish. He's been on board with Vanquish. He hasn't really made a mistake at all. Jamie there just a bit think being disappointed, but Vanquish is doing an awful lot of lockups, so that might hurt his tyres towards the end of this race. So unfortunately for Jamie, he has dropped down into 4th position. So Geordie is in 5th position, Morris in 6th position, Blaz in 7th position, Bradders is in 8th position, 9th position is Carton. He's had to pit again because of the damage to his front wing, we believe. 10th position is Flying Swords, and the Gort just outside the points on 10th position. About 11 cars left out of the 17 that started. Unfortunately, the pit wall has become a bit of a hazard for BP and Asdog there, as both collapsed in the wall quite heavily. BP did actually bring out the virtual safety car for a brief moment, he just collided right there. You can see he's actually damaged the barrier there, hasn't he? He's sticking out a bit then. So as you can see, 11 laps to go, and the battle for 2nd position is well and truly on now, isn't it? Because Vanquish will have a lot fresher tyres than Brett at the moment. Is Brett going to be able to hang on? The only man who's on the soft tyre at the moment is Carton. Geordie and Morris still fighting for position here. This has been an outstanding battle, as we're going to keep with these guys, but we'll also keep an eye on Vanquish. Can he get himself back in second? Slim is now 5 seconds almost in front of Brett, so he's trying to extend his wings a bit, spread his wings a bit, and just keep that 5-second gap. Of course, Slim had an amazing qualifying session, didn't he? He was 2 tenths in front of his teammate, 4 tenths in front of Vanquish. That's almost unheard of. An absolutely mega lap from Slim there. That was a once in a lifetime lap, I believe. I think he'd be absolutely delighted about that lap. Impressive stuff. Back on board then with Morris. He's been a star of the show, hasn't he, so far in this stream. Well, both these guys have Geordie. Charles, I'm a big fan of Geordie. I think he was defended was very aggressive in Germany, wasn't it? But to be honest, from my point of view, it probably would have annoyed me if I'm a racer, but I was trying that. But from a spectator's point of view, and also from all the viewers as well, it was great fun to watch. Really, very good stuff. Vanquish is now half a second behind Brett, and coming back onto the finish straight now. We're keeping on that time now. It's 5.2 seconds now. Geordie there getting a bit sideways there into the chicane, and also getting a bit sideways coming out of the chicane. Is that going to give him momentum and such? Morris now is just too far back again. He needs to be right on the tail of Geordie. Is Geordie then doing really well? Oh, he's sliding very much there, Geordie is, isn't he? You can see the back end just trying to step out there. He's a very good drifter, I must say. And from Geordie. And Vanquish is now all over the back. Jamie has dropped to 1.5 seconds back from Vanquish. I wonder if Jamie's going to be very disappointed in that mistake as well. I think the car must have damaged his front wing when he got very close out of the final corner when they were free abreast going down into turn 1. It was very close there, wasn't it? It might be racing in some. We might get some under review after this race, but it was very close. Geordie locks up again, then going into the hairpin. Put on the accelerator. Of course, we've seen I think we've seen Deneen in there, wasn't it? I think it was Deneen. You can see just putting the power down and just Kimi Räikkönen did that a couple of times in Canada, didn't he? 14 and 15, I think it was. So the torque on these Formula 1 cars is quite mega, isn't it? The hybrid here hasn't been one of the most liked in a way, but we're going to go to Vanquish here because he's all over the bat of Brett. Now Brett, of course, done 10 laps on these medium tyres, so he is going to. Of course, Vanquish is now 4 laps younger. It's just going to. Now Vanquish looks like he can line them up. Then he's got the slipstream. He's got the line. He's through and he's up into 2nd position. Then as Brett is having a look, he's trying to sneak through, but Vanquish has got that move done. Brilliant stuff there from Vanquish. As he's got the pace to get after Slim. It's now almost 6 seconds the gap is between them and Slim at the moment. Slim is looking very in command, but remember, anything can happen, and in this, especially on this track, and it usually will. Brett now dropping down through, but that is still a good race that Brett's having, an amazing race on the podium in your debut race. Is just immense, isn't it? Of course, Lewis Hamilton did it when he first started. Villeneuve did it back in '96 when he first debuted for Williams. Kevin Magnussen as well, of course, back in the McLaren in 2014, also debuted when he was also on the podium on his debut. So well done to Brett, brilliant stuff so far. And we'll rejoin them in is Brett able to hold on? We'll keep with this for the moment. There's still a stalemate between Geordie and Morris for the battle for 5th and 6th. Remember, there's 2 points difference between 5th and 6th. So 10 points for 5th, 8 points for 6th. You can see Vanquish is now really now. Let's see, has Vanquish got the has got a yellow flag in sector 2, and that's why Geordie's made a mistake. Geordie has made a mistake at Spoon, and I'm not sure what happened there, but he was half spun in the exit of Spoon. Is there been damage? Morris is quite slow. I think that he might have had a lunge for it in Spoon, and he's damaged his front wing. I think so. There's not much red on the on that right hand side. Yeah, he's lost the end plate there. Morris has. That is a shame, because that was a race long battle. That was Geordie is through back at the 5th now, so that, and then Jamie's also got and Morris has also got a 5th place sort good penalty as well. Oh, such a shame there for Morris. So he's in the pits then as he's changing from wing. He's going onto the soft tyre. He's dropped behind Blaz, Brothers, and Carton will also be through as well. It'd be very close. Well, he's now being held up there. Oh no, yeah, he's come out now. So yeah, bit of a lag on our side. So it's going to touch up between the two Toro Rosses here, and Carton's now out in 8th position. Morris out in 9th position then. So a bit of a shame there for Morris, because I was really enjoying that battle. Now Jamie is now starting to home in on Brett then, so this could be the final battle of the day. And I think yeah, so Brett's had a great race, but of course Jamie, who's also fairly new to the Elite League as well, as so it's going to be a battle for the podium now then. So I think Brett's brilliant drive and his strategy has been might almost pay off here. Vanquish is now down to 4.8 seconds then between Slim and Vanquish. So we have so Vanquish might be trying to prove a point here, mightn't he? He's really definitely put his toe down, hasn't he? He's now 2.6 seconds in front of Brett on board Jamie then, so he's in DRS ridge at the moment. So he's now within, of course, because he's in DRS, he is under a second, and he's looking quite good in terms of top line speed there over Brett. As they now enter another lap then here in Suzuka. Of course, remember then a quick reminder of what's happening tomorrow. Of course, we got the Super League, we got the Supers tomorrow. So of course that would be, we'll see a couple of familiar faces that was here tonight. One of them would be Blaz. No, I don't think it would be Blaz. Blaz might be missing tomorrow, and also we should see Asdog. So yeah, so we'll definitely see Asdog. I'm not sure if Blaz will be there tomorrow, which would be a bit of a shame. But of course, tune in anyway, because the Super League is on the same time tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Well, we should be live on air about 10 to 8, something like that, if I sort myself out, which is very unlikely. So yes, but we will be on air tomorrow on the same channel of the international racing community, IRC. Anyway, back to that's a quick reminder of what's going on tomorrow. Of course, next week we'll be in the Circuit of the Americas for the race around Austin, and that's also a good track as well. It's kind of mixed, isn't it? But we'll come to that in a minute, because we're now back for the battle for third. Brett parked his car nicely in the middle there, so basically that was good defending. Flying Saws is unfortunately out of this race. Just on board the Gore here, and it is in, it looks like it's in Degna, one of the Degnas, so that's a shame now. But back with the battle here. Brett's gone on the inside, Jamie gone on the outside. Brett has gone in deep though, but he's kept it going. Well, he didn't even go in deep though, he just went very wide, but very good job there from Brett. Absolutely sensational stuff there from Brett. Flying Sauce is out of the race, so we've got 10 cars left, so the Gore is now in the points. So it just shows that you just need to keep going. The gap is down to 4 seconds now between Slim and Vanquish. Oh, Jamie going wide again, because I think he went wide earlier on, didn't he? And that lets Vanquish through. So Slim might have to, if he's got anything left in the tank, he might need to start thinking about. Yeah, we're on 22 out of 27, so not long left to go. But Vanquish is really causing some pressure up front now, isn't he? And Jamie's really causing some pressure now on the debutant Brett as well, isn't he? He's definitely giving Brett some cause for concern at this moment. And seeing the Sauber there and Spoon. I don't believe Brett's got any penalties. I don't think. I could be wrong, but no, I don't think Brett has got any penalties. Which is a good thing, because just shows how clean drivers these guys are. Of course, we had a lot of penalties at the beginning, didn't we? And I think it was just because of cause it's such a narrow track. They were just fighting, weren't they, for space and everything like that. So see, whoa! And I thought Brett went into the barrier there. And so we're back on board then with Jamie then. So Jamie is now in the slipstream again because Brett's gone defensive here, quite early on the straight. And Jamie's a bit too far back. Brett again going very, I think that's his race tonight, isn't it? Going deep into turn 2, isn't it? And because he keeps the momentum there and he keeps Jamie at bay. There we go. 5 seconds stop with a penalty for Brothers for exceeding track limits. That's a bit harsh. So I wonder where he got that from. Lovely, a lovely shot area on the side of the cockpit here. Of course, on board we're seeing the halo. I think the halo really is. I must admit, when I first said the halo, I kind of thought, oh, I'm not going to love F1 the same way again. But I must admit, I just kind of got used to it. Really, it's like the hands device back in 2003. I think when they made it mandatory, didn't they? Of course, the hand and neck safety device. This is like clipped to the helmet. And yeah, I remember seeing that. That doesn't look right. But I remember like watching some of the old racing. You can actually, it basically is it looks a bit odd now, doesn't it? Where they don't have hands around their helmet as such. Anyway, as we got 2 battles out there at the moment. We got this one here. We've also got Morris. We've also got Morris and Carton, the two Honda Power Toro Rosso. Again, Brett doing a good job of defending here. Ooh, took too much curb there, but Jamie's got a 5-second stop and go penalty for exceeding track limits. That's a bit harsh, isn't it? Flying Saucers after session there. Now he's gaining. He is going for Citroen. This is a much better chance, isn't he? Now he's going on the outside. He's flown by. Where's Brett? Brett is Brett's coming back on the inside there. Brilliant stuff, wheel to wheel, and that is amazing, fantastic from Brett. Absolutely fantastic. Good stuff, and that was very clean as well. I didn't see any damage either. Absolutely immense stuff from both these drivers. Brett has shown he's the real deal, isn't he? It's immense stuff. Of course, both these guys are pretty good as well. Because as we said before, Jamie has always been there or thereabouts. So just going to have a quick look to see what's happening with the Toro Rossos. Another 3-second penalty for Brothers. Brothers is really starting to rack him up now in 7th position in the Williams. Carton, and so you can see then the difference in tyre life is about 5 laps, similar to Jamie and Brett as well. So we're keeping on the two Toro Rossos there, so they're battling for the lower end of the points there, and this is going to be an interesting dive into Spoon now. Again, Brett is looking ice cool there, isn't he, in the Sauber? Not really letting Jamie dictate about his braking points or anything like that, but he is now starting to get very defensive, isn't he? With on lap 24, the gap at the front is 3.1 seconds. He's going to go on the outside 130 yard. No, not quite. He's on the AstroTurf there. He's just keeping back here. There's a Brett there. He just gets a bit of wheel on the grass there, so coming through then to Brett's got 3 more laps of this, so no pressure. And it's been a stunning debut for Brett, hasn't it? And very, very coolly driving, very mature driving as well from Brett. So definitely a big round of applause from Brett. But I think a big round of applause for all these guys to survive Suzuka tonight. And they drove very well for the first 7-8 laps, didn't they? Because we didn't have no retirements at all. Which is unusual around this track, isn't it? Because you can see when we ride on board with a car, like we're on board with Jamie now, look how close the barriers are. So and look how quick these corners are, like these Degner corners. One wrong move, if you clip the grass, go a bit too wide, you're going to see the accident quite quickly. And now coming into the hairpin, very well controlled from both drivers there. It's down to 2.5 seconds now between Vanquish and Slim. Vanquish is running out of laps here, but yeah, he's really he must have caught Slim's attention, because and I wonder how much distraction that would play, because that would really play on my mind if I've seen someone coming at me quite quickly there. Remember though, these are very experienced drivers, aren't they? And so yeah, Slim might just be very cool up front, no, and just not too worried by Vanquish's pace, because remember he's got track position. Back as you see them just back with this battle here. Final battle this is the battle for the final step on the podium. So yeah, so there's a lot more than honour at stake here. There's also 15 points and also being on the podium, and Brett would love to be on the podium here. And look at this, and once again then racing against each other. And look at this, Brett, brilliant stuff. He's going for the inside, and Brett closes the door, and absolutely good stuff there. So yeah, Brett not being intimidated. Here we got a yellow flag in sector 3. Geordie looks like he's recovering from something. I think Geordie might have had an adventure somewhere. Yeah, because Blaz is now just 2 seconds back from Geordie, so I wonder if Geordie's made a mistake. He damaged his front wing, Geordie has. And Geordie that looks like a 2019 wing, but he's a year too early. He's lost a lot of end plate there, Geordie has. This is going to cost him, and Blaz has now got to defend now from it's down to under 2 seconds between Vanquish and Slim. And then now is and look at this, and then Blaz is trying to go on the outside, and we're on board then with Brothers, and now they're coming into Degna 1. Blaz now just extensively. Geordie's made a massive mistake somewhere, hasn't he? And he's damaged his front wing, and that's on the worst part of the race as well, because he has to go race track as well, because he has to go all the way around. And now Blaz is we got 2. And so now then Blaz is going to have a very tense final 2 laps, and Brett has had a very tense 7 or 8 laps, hasn't he? Now again we're just watching Brett and Jamie go into the chicane, down to 1.3 seconds or 1.2 seconds on the last lap of the Japanese Grand Prix. And we'll come to the I wonder if Geordie's gone into that barrier. And look at this, Brett is making sure he doesn't go on board Brett, and then Jamie's through. So Jamie is through and up into third position there, and the move has stuck there. Very good driving from both drivers, and very good from Brett as well. Absolutely immense stuff. Brett is not giving up this too easy though. He's following in the S's, and it's a very difficult thing to do, because the dirty area you'll have understeer, and you'll have understeer which will just which will unsettle the car, and he's gone wide here, Brett has, and I think that might be the end of the line there. And Brader is still behind Blaz, and Carton is now got to defend against Morris here. Morris going on the outside of Carton, going into turn 1. Who's going to be brave? We've got both Toro Rossos there. Carton stays in front, but he's gone wide, and Morris going up the inside there. Oh, I thought he lost it there. And whilst all that's going on behind him, we have got Slim coming around then, spoonful of final time. But look at Vanquish, he is basically all over the back of him. If we had a couple more laps, would Vanquish be able to overtake him? Or with Slim, is this just a very calculated race from Slim, where he basically was only driving as quickly as he should be, coming around the chicane for the final time? Slim then exits the chicane, comes around the final corner, then they have to go wide because of that barrier, and Slim wins the Japanese Grand Prix. And he is, as we got a yellow flag, because Carton is out of the race. He's gone somewhere, and that is a big shame for Carton. So Carton is out of the race, and Brett finishes 3rd. So penalty, and it's a 5-second, it's an unstopped serve penalty. So Brett finishes 3rd on his debut. Amazing stuff. 4th position is Jamie. Great battle between them, and whoa! Carton and Blaz and the Brothers is big contact in the chicane. Blaz has come through and finished 5th. He's damaged his front wing, but Blaz finishes 5th. 6th position is Brothers, and so yeah, I think it's a wild lunge from Brothers there. He also gets a unserved penalty. Geordie limps home in 7th position, but and he's going to the wall. Morris in 8th position. Brothers is actually 9th because of Brothers is actually 8th because of the pit stops. And the Gort is coming through to finish 9th position. Carton retired on the final lap of the race. So brilliant! What a brilliant race in the end. We had a massive start. We had a bit of a lull in the middle, which is kind of what we needed. Well, it's what I need anyway. And then well, it all went a bit crazy towards the end. And the Gort comes through then to finish 10th position, and a lovely final shot there to and he's gone to the wall as well. So wow, what a race here for the elite guys. Amazing stuff. Vanquish then Vanquish finished in 2nd. We got a first ever podium as well for the Sauber driver. Immense stuff. So Slim now winning by 0.3 of a second. Was it expertly judged? We'll ask him in just a second, as he is just he's just popped into the chat for a quick few words. But before we get to Slim, we're just confirming the final results of the Japanese Grand Prix here in Suzuka. But wow, what a race towards the end. It was blimey, it was brilliant. A slow burner halfway through there, but then all of a sudden it all just kicked off. And as we said before, then good podium then for the debutant. Let's quickly go through then the results then for the Japanese Grand Prix. So Slim there, who won the race there from pole position to checkered flag, and also no penalties as well. So well done to Slim. Vanquish again the same there. He had no penalties either. He finished 2nd. Brett 3rd position and on his debut as well. Immense stuff. Jamie finished in 4th, and Blaz great drive to 5th. Geordie 6th. We have Morris in 7th position, Bradders is in 8th, and the Gort is in 9th position. And Carton will get some points even though he retired from that race. And wow, what a race! Slim, amazing stuff. It looked quite serene out in front until the last 6-7 laps where Vanquish was closing you down.
Yeah. Probably playing a bit too cautious, just making sure I didn't force a mistake out of myself and just making sure I got it. But yeah, one more lap and he would have had me easily. So a bit closer than I would have liked it, but yeah, still managed to pull through in the end to keep the gap big enough so he didn't get past.
It was very exciting on the first couple of laps as well, but yeah, it did look very like it looked like he was in class of 1 to begin with, and I was debating whether you were just keeping it cautious and just, you know, I got these amount of laps left. Vanquish has to overtake me, and it's quite a difficult track to overtake. But as you said, it was very close towards the end, wasn't it? But congratulations, Slim. And I haven't really checked the championship standings, but yeah, I think unfortunately for your teammate, he lost it. Did you see what happened to your teammate, Samster?
No, but I think what happened was in the I don't know what turn it is, but it's like the left-hander, the second left-hander in that twisty section in the first sector. He touched the inside curb, and that sent him off into the gravel, and that's him out. And he did that twice. Well,
that's such a shame as well, because yeah, because it was a Ferrari one too. We got to go back to qualifying. What a lap! You were 0.2 of a second quicker than your teammate, and 0.4 of a second quicker than Vanquish. That is just unheard of. That was a quality lap. Were you chuffed with that lap?
Oh yeah, that was everything. I think that's matching my time trial time, so that was literally everything I had in that lap. Pushing the absolute limit in the braking zone. I don't know if you saw it, but locking up into the final chicane. And literally, that was everything I had in that lap.
It was immense. It really was. Kind of it coming from the screen down below, and I couldn't see what it was originally, and then I realised it was like 0.4 quicker than Vanquish. I was like, wow, that was like blown out of the park. That was a proper Hamilton-esque lap. It just pulled out of the bag. That was immense. But yeah. Congrats, Slim. A great race as well. And Torrance did look in control from where I was at, so very well done. Going on to the next race in America, I think it's the next race. Circuit of the Americas. How you find that track? You looking forward to that one?
Yeah, it's a similar style track to Suzuka in the fact that it's got loads of twisty corners and a similar first sector. So, in theory, it should suit my driving. And it is one of the tracks that I am a fan of, so yeah, it depends. It's a very mixed track for me. I've had good races and bad races there, so it could go either way.
That's what I was saying in qualifying. It's either a good track or a bad track. It's never in the middle with me. Well, yeah, congrats, Slim. Well done, mate. Let's go to Vanquish then. Wow, I must say, you really made that race look interesting. What happened to you in the pit stops though? Because it seems like you had had problems.
Problems, man. I was held up so fucking long. Like the car won't move. So yeah, I think like the other cars were passing me, he wouldn't let me. Like I lost like a lot of time. I was on the back of Slim, and god damn it, man, I was like, go, no. But yeah, and then I got Jamie in front of me. I got allergy. What's the guy named Brett? I got carding in my neck breathing. So yeah, I lost a lot of time because of that, and when I got past, I was a man on a mission. I literally needed one lap more. God damn it!
I tell you, you were a man on the mission. That was immense stuff. There was also a part of the race where I must admit I was actually hiding behind my pillow at one stage. It was you karting, and I can't remember if it was Brett or Jamie, but all the three of you was like very close together going into the start-finish straight. Did karting get damaged, by the way, off that?
Karting got damaged. Jamie braked a little earlier than karting expected, I think, and he broke his ring. Yeah, that was his end of base, unfortunately. But yeah,
and also
yeah, that was. yeah, intense race, and my quali wasn't the best. Yeah, I could do better, but yeah, you know, good times, bad times.
But you still extended your lead in the championship.
Definitely was a good time, of course, but I felt like I had a lot more race pace.
It definitely showed it towards the end. That was pretty immense as well. And we also got to say, because we was on board with you, and we did see that Jamie made a mistake in front of you. Because when we were on board, it looked like you were locking up your front tires a bit, but you was never overshooting the corner. It looked much precision there. Was it causing your tires any problems when you were locking them up, or was it just because I don't think the lockups were major? It was just kind of like coasting into the corners. But I was suggesting.
I think it's.
Sorry.
I think it's also a little bit of lag issue, because sometimes I check on stream and then I'm like, okay, didn't even lock up there, you know.
Oh.
But the screen shows that I'm locking up. Sometimes, okay, I'm pretty known as yeah, that I'll lock up pretty much, and that's because I have a pretty heavy foot. So yeah. And these are pretty new brake pedals, so yeah, a lot more sensitivity to it, and it's kind of hard to master it. But once you get in the zone, yeah, pretty good.
It does look spectacular on the stream mod, and I get very excited when I see a lockup. So I was like, oh my gosh. Anyway, I'm going to America the next race. Then we did ask Slim about the American circuit. What are you looking forward to that track?
Oh yeah, I love the first section though. Can go so freaking hard there, and also lose a lot of time there. So. It's a pretty challenging track.
Excellent
for the
stuff.
Best. And congrats to Slimbo, he held up good.
Cheers, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really tense towards the end.
I just want to know one thing. Did you feel the pressure that last lap?
yeah. I just know if I made one mistake, you were there, you would have taken it.
I mean, I literally didn't care if I crashed. Like, okay, I'm just going full throttle, even on curbs. Man,
Yeah.
the car just stood stable, did his thing.
Yeah.
Excellent stuff, guys. So, could we just have a quick chat about the final man on the podium, Brett? Because that was his debut today, I believe. I don't think he's seen much of his race, but it was quite impressive though to see a debutant in the Elite League on the podium. So a good shout out to him, really. I think Vanquish, you were battling him with a couple of as well, but he looks like a very tidy racer, doesn't he?
Yeah, he could manage the race pretty well. I think he challenged you for the top. Yeah, of course this is his first race, so yeah, did nice.
Yeah, so
that was long that what I saw, so yeah.
Yeah, a good shout then for Brett then, and that's it for the end of the Elites tonight. Absolutely outstanding race. Chaos at the beginning, and then we had a bit of moment of relaxation, and it all just went off towards the end. Amazing stuff. Remember, the Super League's on tomorrow, same time of 10 to 8. So remember to join us then, and for another trip around Suzuka. Otherwise, in a week's time, we'll be in the Circuit of the Americas then in Austin, Texas. But from here, it's goodbye.